Get nasty on a Thursday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter, and Marsh has got his Vikings cap on. He's ready to go.
Boy, is he hopeful.
He doesn't even know what he's hopeful for.
He's just happy.
I don't think
he's happy to be here.
I actually don't think he's hopeful.
No.
Listening to Marshy talk, it's almost like this is doomsday.
Why is that, Marsh?
You're just not happy.
You said Romo Dunze? I wouldn't mind having him.
Yeah, you can never have enough wide receivers.
No, you can't.
There's only one football.
Especially when you got SpongeBob SquareHead under center this year.
He'll probably
Justin Jefferson.
He'll be gone for 3 years.
You got Jordan Addison. Why not add Roma Dunze?
We got who's that running back now? What's the
Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones, baby. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're rolling. You guys are rolling. You guys are ready to roll.
We need a better defense.
Harrison Smith
Maybe a better offensive line.
Harrison Smith is about 40.
What
We
about
can't get all of
quarterback?
that with one pick.
Yeah, we do need a new quarterback, too. I prefer one that has already been established in the league, but hey.
Sam Darnold.
Oh, come on.
Do you call that established?
He's established.
Marsh,
Something.
what if we told you that you could have a former top 3 quarterback who has been in the league, established, experienced,
Sounds like what he just asked for.
Well traveled.
played at a Power
Well-traveled.
5 program at one point?
I don't know if that matters.
It does.
Trying to sell him.
Really doesn't.
Would you want that?
Nah.
Because you know
Only
Sam Darnold.
26 years old. Still
Only
young.
26
Hey, you know
years
what,
old.
though?
He's in the prime of his life.
He did have one really good drive in one of the games this past year.
Yes, he did.
When the 49ers were losing and Brock Purdy got injured. He had a hell of a drive. So, if he can just do that for 16 games, 17 games,
Be okay.
I think we'll be in good business.
Remember that drive? That's what they had T-shirts. Remember that drive?
Yeah. Remember when if you're talking
Darnold.
about the same game, if I'm remembering this correctly, that was against the Ravens.
It was against the Ravens.
So Sam Darnold's your guy.
That's a good defense.
That is.
That's a very good defense.
It was that one good drive.
All right, so NFL Draft Day 1 coverage. First round is tonight at 6 o'clock. Caleb Williams, the consensus number 1 pick. But as we talked a little bit about this yesterday, the number 2 selection with Washington, it's kind of where the draft starts. Jaden Daniels is the current favorite to go to Washington. But could you guys see a scenario where Drake May or even J.J. McCarthy goes to Washington at 2, and then Jaden Daniels slides to 3?
I saw on ESPN this morning, again, I can never remember what show, if it's First Take, Get Up, or Sound Off, or I have no idea. They all got their own catchy little names there, and they all seem to, be on each other's shows. Like, they move around. It's very confusing, Anthony. Especially if you're, reading the closed caption, because, you're doing a workout and trying to watch. Anyways, Mike Tannenbaum is the guy I'm talking about. And he seems to think that there's a real possibility that the Washington Commanders take the kid from North Carolina, Drake May.
If that happens, I think you're going to see chaos at that point because teams are going to try to move up.
To get Jaden Daniels.
Try to get Jaden Daniels. And then it becomes, my guy. And then it becomes, what are the Patriots willing to do right there? What do they want to do? What are they, because they also are in need of a quarterback, correct? I mean,
if Jaden Daniels falls through at 3, you take him.
But the Patriots need so much.
You don't have a quarterback. It doesn't matter.
They don't have anything.
So start with the quarterback. Start with the most impactful position.
You are the same man that says you build an organization, build a team where? Inside,
from the inside out.
Unlike your Atlanta Falcons, outside in.
Who have never won anything
first.
That's Atlanta.
Well, they haven't.
And Detroit for a long time.
But
Detroit's never been to a Super Bowl.
The best teams, you have to build the foundation. You got to start from the inside out. And the
quarterback would be from the inside out.
Yeah, but who sent the meme earlier with Joe Burrow?
Oh, that was me.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Did you see it?
No.
You got Jared Goff, and then he had Penei Sewell, and then it said anybody, and you got the Penny blocking the guy.
With little money bags.
Money bags over Penei Sewell, and then you got somebody downfield, and the ball gets to him. Then you had Joe Burrow, then you had anybody in front of him,
right?
And you had Jamar Chase with the money bags down there, and you had Joe Burrow on his face. laying down.
That was really funny.
perfect. That's exactly.
You got to get somebody to block for the guy.
I didn't have my
But if
glasses
you don't have
on.
the guy,
If you don't have the guy,
couldn't see
though.
it.
doesn't matter.
The Patriot. What do you mean it doesn't matter?
If you don't have anybody to block for the guy, did you just lose your glasses and he had to help you?
No, not exactly.
You missed your glasses because you couldn't see your glasses?
Well, I've been wanting to look at that meme that he sent, but I was driving when he sent it.
This is amazing.
And even when I stopped, I couldn't see it. So now I was going to take advantage
But
of.
did he have to tell you where your glasses
Yeah,
were because
he
you
was.
couldn't see them?
Yeah, he did.
So you need glasses to find your glasses.
No, I just had forgot I brought him in here, Carey.
Okay.
I'm glad you found him, Velma.
There you go.
Thank you.
I haven't been called that in a while.
There was that one night.
I'm with you. I'm with you with the offensive line, but if you don't
gotta
have,
protect.
if you don't, I completely agree. But if you don't have the quarterback, you can't pass a franchise. You can't pass up on a franchise quarterback.
Okay, so if Jaden Daniels goes before, you're okay with not drafting Drake May?
If the Patriots aren't in love with Drake May, absolutely.
I think Drake May is Mitchell Trubisky.
That might be the case. And if
I do.
Hey, just because he played for the same college.
It's probably why I see the same uniform, I see the same body, I see the same person.
But
I don't know.
if the Patriots are in love with Drake May, then you trade out. But if Jaden Daniels falls to you, Jaden Daniels has got to be the pick, in my opinion. And then of course you build the offensive line.
I am of the thought
Carey
process.
doesn't like Jaden Daniels.
Well,
Anthony, I don't know if you've listened at all this week.
I have. Yeah.
He can't stand him.
I'm just
I don't know what
It's
Jaden
not what I
Daniels
said.
did to Carey.
Nothing. He's a
Or
good
someone in
kid,
Carey's.
I'm
I have
sure.
no idea.
Sure,
But
he's a
Jaden
good kid.
Daniels is on the list of the list you don't want to be on.
Is Jack Daniels? Did you have an issue with that? Maybe.
No, actually, I'm okay with Jack.
Okay. So
I've had a few
Jaden.
issues with Jack Daniels.
After.
Yeah, he gets me in a lot of trouble.
Me too.
Jack's a good friend.
No.
I just don't think if you are unsure if this quarterback is a franchise player, a franchise changer, in my opinion, you don't risk drafting a Josh Rosen, a Sam Darnold. You don't risk going after that guy because you're not going to be there to see it through. You won't be there to see his 4 years or 5 years if you get it wrong. And the quarterback position is so important that if you have other needs and it is not a guy that is a franchise changer, then in my opinion, you don't risk going to get that guy. The damn Titans have drafted 3 quarterbacks in year after. They're trying to find it. 2, they're trying to find the right guy, or they feel like maybe they have. But you don't risk going up or drafting someone that high when you can actually trade back and get more. And maybe be in the situation that the Chicago Bears are in, stink again, and now you're right back there. The Chicago Bears, in my opinion, did it right. They moved back last year, got a receiver, got some more, got more help, got more draft picks, and they're right back where they wanted to be this year. You know why? Because the Carolina Panthers did what? Drafted a quarterback. And where did they end up?
But they were in love with the quarterback there. I think the caveat. But what you're saying
if you
is,
wait a year, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. There are going to be quarterbacks that come out every single year.
But Carey, I think the important thing here that we want to stress here, I'm not saying take any quarterback. I'm saying take the franchise. No, I'm not. I'm talking about Jaden Daniels. I'm talking about if Jaden Daniels
I'm trying
falls
to
to
figure
you.
out what Carey doesn't like about Jaden Daniels, and I'm not being a jerk. I'm being serious.
Against
because he's had a pretty damn good
Daniels.
year.
I don't have
Outstanding
anything
year.
against him.
Well, every time we bring him up, you're like, yeah, pass.
Because I just feel like there's one guy in this draft, and I could be wrong. I could sit here again. There's usually one guy. You very rarely get a scenario where there are 3 or 4 guys in a draft, and they all, was that the 83 class where they all,
Marino.
4 of them become Hall of Famers? That is rare. You know why? Because it ain't been since the 83.
Good point.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it's rare to hit on 3 or 4 quarterbacks in a draft. Normally there's 1, maybe 2, but when you start drafting and reaching, and I don't know if reaching for Drake May or reaching for Jaden Daniels is the correct term, but it ain't, in my opinion, a lock like it will be for Caleb Williams. And you know why it's a lock for Caleb Williams? Because the Bears got more pieces to assist with him. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
No, I mean, look, you're obviously entitled to your opinion, and let's be honest, you're the expert in the room when it comes to NFL football. For me, as a casual fan of college football, as a very avid fan of the NFL, I look at a guy like Jaden Daniels, and I say, well, why can't he be the guy? You watch what he did at the collegiate level, and again, I know it's collegiate level, but so did Caleb Williams. He did it at the collegiate. They all go through the college level to get to the NFL. Jaden Daniels is sitting here as one of the best players in the entire country. I'm just trying to figure out why the question marks.
Again, it's not a question mark of, it's more so if I have more things that I need, it's not a question on his talent. So, I think he's extremely talented.
Okay, but you don't think he's good enough to be a franchise guy? If the Bears were going
to take him first, I would say I wouldn't have a problem with that.
And then why do you have a problem at 2
because
and 3?
There are some teams that need so much more. I'm speaking more for the Patriots than
but
the
you
Commanders.
can't pass on the franchise quarterback.
You know what franchise quarterbacks get when they don't have a line in front of them?
Joe Burrow hurt.
Yes.
Right.
You get traded or you get picked up by the Minnesota Vikings.
When people say, there you go.
Sure. All right, so let's
people think you stink.
Let's just do this little exercise then. Okay.
I just think it's
and
interesting that we have such a talented player. And Carey, I actually understand what you're saying.
It's an unfair position to put them in. Bryce Young, I was going to call him Bryce Harper. Bryce Young had no chance in hell last year. Just none.
No, I
Not
agree.
enough around for, and you know what people start questioning? He might not be good enough. And you know what starts happening? Your confidence gets ruined. And then you are not good enough in that moment until you start getting pieces around you to assist. Again, I understand you cannot pass up what you believe to be a franchise quarterback, but if you have other needs in your room, on your team, drafting him is probably going to set you back because you're still not going to win games because there are so many. Football is completely different. You got to have people around you. It is dependent upon the people in front of you as a quarterback, the people behind you, the running backs, and the receivers to catch the passes. If you just got a few guys, you're going to get demolished, and it's going to be hard to have success. Ask Justin Fields. He did it. He was drafted. They didn't have pieces around him. People think he stinks. Maybe he does, but how the hell do you know?
But
there's a lot of guys like that.
But people kept saying that the pieces were around him after they got DJ Moore. Everybody was excited. Everybody saw him on MVP and all that stuff.
It was better. Last year he had better pieces.
To me, if we're like the Bengals, for example, because we brought the Bengals up, right? So Joe Burrow gets hurt his rookie year because there's not enough around him. Had they passed on him, the following year, maybe they get Trevor Lawrence, or maybe they get Zach Wilson or Trey Lance because the quarterbacks are available. To me, you have to get the quarterback right first. Then, of course, you build in front of him.
Joe Burrow made it to a Super Bowl, and they didn't win because they didn't have anybody in front of them.
He didn't win because Aaron Donald, unfortunately, was playing on the other side.
You got to have a guy to block that guy.
Yeah.
Preferably.
Well, I think the Bengals...
And you know what the Kansas City Chiefs have done? After they got whooped against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the Super Bowl, they went and drafted linemen. Now, they had
Carey,
the quarterback.
You and I are speaking the same language. I'm the guy that rallies against the wide receivers all the time. My team's filled with idiots who only take the position players. You've heard this rant from me for years now.
Rome Odunze.
They won't.
I hope they do.
Won't.
I hope they do so I can see you smoking ears just
full
flame,
meltdown.
like
it would be full meltdown.
It would be an epic tantrum.
We could turn our mics off for 2 segments and just let him go.
We can
It'd
sit
be
down.
an epic tantrum.
They're going to get Brock Bowers.
Oh, he's a good. There you go. Skill guy.
2 tight ends.
Yeah, like the Patriots.
They'd
did
still
some
only
years
have
ago.
one tight end. Kyle Pitts is a
Worked out for
receiver.
Yeah, kind of. He did go to a Super Bowl.
And that did end up with a killer season.
Yeah.
It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN NFL Draft tonight. We'll dive in and out of the NFL Draft, the first round at least, with the coverage starting at 6 o'clock right here on 101 ESPN. But Buster Olney and the co-host with Mike Greenberg, Paul Hembo, had a discussion about the Cardinals and their inability to do something besides score runs. And it's actually associated with not scoring runs. We'll tell you what it is. You'll listen to the audio next on 101 ESPN. Cardinals off tonight after beating the Diamondbacks yesterday, but unfortunately the Cardinals overall still struggling, still in last place.
What?
Yeah.
They won 2 out of 3.
Are you still celebrating that, are you?
Yeah. What the hell are we talking about?
Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. It's the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. So Paul Hembo, who is the co-host along with Mike Greenberg, was talking with Buster Olney about the Cardinals, and they're doing kind of like a panic mode or not panic mode segment. This is a little bit longer. It's over a minute, but it's interesting what Buster Olney and Paul Hembo get into.
Do you have panic or patience with the St. Louis Cardinals lineup?
I'm panicking. I think this lineup's in real trouble, Buster. Right now, they're averaging 3.5 runs a game. Only the A's and White Sox are averaging fewer. They've hit 15 homers this season. Only the White Sox have hit fewer. This was a team that ranked 19th in scoring last season, so it's not like they were an awesome run-scoring team, and we can look and say, so far, this is a fluke. I've got some really loud numbers when it comes to why they're one of the worst lineups in baseball right now. They can't hit the fastball. This is a team that cannot handle velocity. It's a 347 slug against fastball and a 105 isolated power. Both of those rank 29th. This is a crazy statistic, by the way, and one that's very predictive when it comes to modern-day offenses. They've seen 542 pitches through 95 plus. They've swung at 243 of them. They've put 79 of them in play, and they've got 2 extra base hits. The St. Louis Cardinals, as a team, in the first 3 weeks of the season, have 2 extra base hits on pitches thrown 95 plus. Lars Nootbaar is the only player in the order with a positive run value against the four-seam fastball. This team cannot hit velocity, and unfortunately, this is the worst time in the history of baseball to have built a lineup that cannot hit velocity. And I think Paul Goldschmidt is probably the microcosm here of the lineup. We've seen enormous regression with him. If he does not turn it around and turn it around quickly, I think this team is in big trouble. I think a lot is riding on his shoulders, and right now he is not carrying the load.
So that is kind of frightening when you hear that. Couple that with Eno Saris was on BK and Ferrario today talking about bat speed and how they're going to have the data soon, because they have all these cameras in the stadiums now, and they're going through the data right now that they're accumulating. But he said overall, players 31 years of age and older, their bat speed dips substantially. Who are your 2 biggest players for the Cardinals?
Goldschmidt and Arenado.
How old are they?
Over 30.
Well over 30. 37 for Goldie, 33 for Arenado, I think, maybe 34, somewhere in there. So if that's the case, that explains a lot of what he's talking about. If your biggest bats can't catch up to the fastball, maybe it's because the bats can't catch up anymore.
Yeah, but it would also, I understand what you're saying, but that would have also applied to Goldschmidt a couple of years ago when he won the MVP.
I agree. But maybe, look, it's not everybody's going to have the 31 years old. No, they fall off the cliff.
Right.
Maybe it's just progressive to where year by year by year, when you look, say, okay, it's just incrementally changed. I don't have the data to substantiate what I'm saying. I'm just saying, for me, this is my opinion.
Yeah.
Is that based on what they just said about the fastball, and the Cardinals can't keep up or can't hit the over 95 plus, that tells me the bats aren't getting there. If the bats aren't getting there, like, is it because of age for certain guys, or is it just because of lack of hitting?
Right. I think it's lack of hitting. It might be it might be a slow bat for some guys. You know, maybe Goldschmidt his bat has now slowed. But you know who's using exactly what Paul Hembo was talking about with the run value against the four-seam fastball. You know who is the worst at -5 for a run value? It's our guy Paul Gorman, otherwise known as Nolan Gorman.
Well, yeah.
He's a -5.
Yeah,
he's young.
He hasn't, by no means has he had a good season.
No, so he's young. So I don't know if it's.
I'm not attributing. I'm not saying that goes hand in hand, Anthony.
Yeah.
I'm saying for certain specific players, it might actually just be a physiological fact that they're getting older.
Yeah, it might absolutely. But
if you can't hit the fastball, it's probably
you got trouble.
You got some trouble on your hands. Like. And guys, that's what most pitchers are. That's what most organizations are looking for. Guys that are throwing 95 plus. Like this is not 1992 where you got guys throwing 89 and 92 mile-an-hour fastballs where you can sit in there and really get after it. If you're unable to hit that would explain a lot about what this team is going through right now. And opposing pitchers, we talk a lot about analytics and how much I despise them, but analytics are that. If you know a team is unable to hit the ball, a fastball, that's what you're going to get a heavy diet of. And until they decide or are able to hit those and hit them in gaps and hit them over fences, they're going to continue to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Why would you switch anything up?
But why are you struggling with that pitch?
There you go. That's my question. Like,
other pitches, okay, movement, things are not, one spot, it ends up in another location. You can understand that to a degree. They're professionals. They should be able to hit it. But a fastball, it's generally coming, spin is the same, coming the same way. It's not a lot of movement on it. Why are you unable to hit that?
Maybe it's the way the other teams are pitching them in a sequence that they're not ready for the fastball.
Yeah.
Like if you're sitting on it and you're waiting for a fastball and you're getting 2 sliders or a sinker to the down and away, and then at a spot where you're not expecting the fastball, because they're doing their own scouting on this, their own little database, all of a sudden the fastball comes in there, the 4-seamer, and you're not ready for it, then it's hard to catch up to that.
Yeah, that would be a bigger concern to me.
That's what I'm concerned about,
that
too.
You just don't have the right approach, because what's the signal and what's the noise, right? Like they can't hit fastballs. Okay, why? Or the data is suggesting that they're not a good team when it comes to hitting the fastball. Let's just take Nolan Gorman for an example here. So as I mentioned before, he's a -5 when it comes to run value against a fastball. He's a +5, best on the team against the slider. So obviously, it depends on whether or not a guy has a fastball or a slider. But let's just say somebody does. Can Nolan Gorman wait on a fastball, take it for a ball if it is outside, wait for the pitch he can drive, which in this case this year would be the slider, and then take it out of the park? It all goes back to approach for me. It's that baseball IQ. It's that thinking the game through. Can you eliminate certain pitches that a guy is throwing, either because he's not throwing, he's dotting it that day, or maybe he's not confident in it, so you can eliminate that pitch because he's not going to throw it. Give yourself a chance. Because if a guy's got 4 or 5 pitches in his arsenal, and you're sitting up there thinking, and all of a sudden 98 on the outer black comes, and you're behind it, that would play into your point, Jamie. So it is about, to me, it's about approach, having the right idea, how you're going to attack that pitcher, and that all stems from your pre-scout meetings, which are held every single day. Every day before the game, this is what this guy has. This is how we're going to approach it tonight. So it's either a lack of approach, or guys, when they get into the batter's box, they're completely lost, which at this point is kind of unacceptable.
And is that on the player, or is that on the hitting coach, or is it on okay,
all the above?
Everybody.
Yeah, it is, right? Because so we're a team. Mm-hmm. We sit down, hitting coach comes to us. So Turner Gill sits down and says, "Hey, Freddie Peralta's on the hill today." They have all the data on how many times Freddie Peralta throws the fastball, what percentage of times he throws the slider, or whatever he has in his arsenal. He's setting up hitters with the fastball early.
Turner Ward,
excuse me. I'm sorry. What did I say? Turner Gill, the former Buffalo Bulls.
It looks like we have our...
Thank you. Sorry.
Our fake team has our hitting coach now.
God bless. Absolute idiot. Sorry,
he is
guys.
a coach, though. So
wrong sport, but he is a coach.
He is a coach. It might explain why they're struggling at the plate.
Yeah.
You got to throw that 9 route. You got to 3 steps and
Guys, I think we found the signal.
Make sure you come back.
That's the issue. Yeah. That's the issue, Turner Gill. Can you imagine? Gorman steps up. All right, where's the cover? Are they playing cover 2? Or?
All right, yep.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Swing.
Yes, Turner Ward. Thank you. I said Turner Gill. My bad. Turner Ward. So if Turner Ward sits down and these guys have no approach, or not the right approach, then you're already behind in the batter's box. But look, you're also a big leaguer. You can break down the at bat. You can break down your own at bat. Maybe they're too far into the analytics in terms of their swing mechanics and things like that. That they're not starting with what they should, which is, how is this guy going to attack me? What's the strategy? I don't know. We're all trying to piece it together here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But not being able to hit a fastball, that's going to be an issue. All right, what's trending? What's trending is next on 101 ESPN.
Fellas, lots of great NBA action going on. Watching the Heat last night. They evened things up with the Celtics. I mean, who saw that coming? Not me. Jimmy Butler out there. Ooh, boy. That's a tough one. But what's fun about the NBA playoffs is getting on FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. And right now, new customers to FanDuel, we got a great deal for you. All you have to do is make a $5 bet, and you get $150 in bonus bets. Kerry, that's win or lose to use during the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, Jamie, you can bet on three-pointers made. The Heat made a lot of three-pointers, a franchise high last night. Over, under, and point totals for a game, first basket score, and so much more. Just go to FanDuel.com/fast to get started.
That's right, FanDuel.com/fast, like Carey just told you, and then you could just place any $5 bet and you get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose, to use during the NBA playoffs. So if you got a hunch on a certain team, certain player, great, play it all at FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or older and present in Illinois. First online real money wager, only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update, driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals are off today. However, they will take on the New York Mets tomorrow as Miles Michaelis takes the mound, going up against Jose Butto. Tonight, though, we have day one of the NFL draft, and we'll continue talking about the draft throughout the remainder of the show. But coming up next, we're going to dive into what's trending right here in the fast lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's Time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, congratulations to Steve Ott. He was named the assistant coach for Team Canada coming up for the 2024 IIHF World Championship. So, round of applause for Steve Ott.
Nice job there, Otter. It's that's a big deal. You know, you usually get a lot of experienced coaches at these world championships. You obviously have some of the most experienced executives that are there. Rick Nash is the GM this year for Canada World Championships. Doug Armstrong will be GM for the Olympic team. So anytime that you can start making it to, the national level, to where it's not just your team, but now it's, representing Hockey Canada, the same as if he was representing USA Hockey.
Sure.
Like, it's a big deal. He's one of 4 guys that are going to coach the team. And for Steve Ott, who, let's be honest, he was a blue-collar player. I played against Otter for many years, and he wasn't a big-time goal scorer. He did all the little things out there that nobody wants to do. He hit, he fought, he blocked shots, won face-offs, was gritty, and that's parlayed into a real good coaching start for him at the NHL level. Obviously, he's got a Stanley Cup ring here with the Blues as a coach. It's nice to see him continue to progress and continue to grow in that position. So who knows, what the future holds for Steve Ott, but congrats to him.
Does this give him an opportunity to maybe become a head coach or of an organization at some point?
I think that's I don't know, but I would imagine
kind of stepping in that direction.
That's the goal for him, is to be an NHL head coach. I would believe that is. I mean, he's kind of an alpha personality, so I think that's what he would like to get to eventually. Right. What does it mean short term? It just means you keep adding to the resume.
Right.
It just means that when there's a head coach job that becomes available, and there's many that are available, maybe Steve Ott has put his name in the hat in some of these. A lot of that stuff goes under the radar to where you don't know until you know. And, so this is another great opportunity for him to continue to coach a lot of really highly skilled athletes and work with really good coaches alongside of him, too, to either help them or learn at the same time.
All right.
So I think Steve Ott wants to be a head coach. I think it's, in his future at some point. When, obviously, that's to be determined.
Sticking with the NHL, sticking with hockey, yesterday, the former Arizona Coyote players were in Utah and Salt Lake City, and they toured the Delta Center, and they were introduced in front of 12,400 people packed inside the arena. And Alex Kerfoot said this is honestly one of the coolest experiences we've all had as hockey players. This is huge for the city of Salt Lake City.
It was unreal. You see these Coyotes guys that get off the plane and they're walking towards the hangar. Of course, they're flying private, which they should be. I mean, the owner in Utah is certainly not going to pinch pennies. He's got a few dollars. And they walk up, and the place is filled with people that are cheering for them. People don't probably even know all the players or who the heck they are. They just saw them and were like, these are our guys now. Welcome home, And for the Coyotes, it was amazing to see the comments from the coach, the GM, Bill Armstrong, and the players, because they had been, I don't want to say second fiddle in Arizona. I don't even know if they were second. Like, you got the baseball team, you got the football team, you got the basketball team, and then you had the Coyotes playing in Mullet Arena. Like, you can't be too high up in the pecking order to be the team that's playing at that college place.
Yeah.
And so for them to show up to Delta Airlines Arena and have 12,005, and then other people wrapped around the building wanting to get in to meet these guys. Awesome. Andre Tourigny, the head coach, said, this is the best day I've had in the NHL so far.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
And the players were echoing that. And then each player would get the mic to go up and say something. It was almost like a WWE hype video. They're like, can I get a hell yeah? It was unreal. So I think the players through all this are going to love the move to Salt Lake, because they've turned into something overnight.
I always feel bad for cities when a team leaves, obviously because of what took place here. But it was amazing and exciting to see the players and the, just how much people showed up for them. Because if you're in a city where you're not getting that, we really need fans to be a part of the game. It energizes you when you're tired. It helps you keep going, especially when you're at home and your fans are loud as hell. And if you don't have that at a game, you got 10 people there screaming. You're like, this is like practice.
Yeah.
You don't have those juices flowing. So it's always tough to see a team, a city lose their team, but it's also awesome to see a city embrace a team in the way that Salt Lake did when they got there.
And what I love about this is it looks like Ryan Smith, the owner of this team, it looks like he's trying to create the perfect marriage, too. There's a bunch of Utah Jazz players that were at this thing, and the hockey players walk down the line. You know, they're dapping up the boys, like, you know, some huge men are there. But it's all like, okay, we're all under one umbrella here. Now we got one owner. I just thought it was a really cool vibe all around.
Awesome.
And you mentioned WWE. We have an NFL draft tonight, but might have a bigger draft tomorrow.
WWE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I'll tell you about it later.
ESPN's.
Please do.
Carey, that's okay.
Like around 6:05.
On the way out. We'll talk about it. You guys are going to be engaged with this.
ESPN's Tim Kirchin heard that Terry Francona could manage again soon, and quote, was told Tito is going to get healthy and then he'll be back managing in a year and a half. He loves the game, part of his fiber in every way. Would not be shocked to see him back.
How old is he?
I mean, I don't know, but I'm sure there's a few people around this town that would sign up for that.
I'm not questioning that in the least.
65.
That's not old. That's seasoned.
Okay. But he already had health issues because of the grind. And let's be honest, it's 162 games. That's a lot. It's a lot. Mm-hmm. I just don't know what the why would be for Terry Francona.
Oh, he loves baseball.
Won't
Yeah.
be here.
Tony La Russa loved baseball too. It didn't work out all that great for him the last time around.
He was a little older.
Guys, he loves baseball though. If we're going by, he loves baseball.
He's tired.
Was he?
I think he fell asleep.
He did. Well, it's not that big of a deal because his players were sleeping in the bullpen.
They
too.
were. So that was the culture.
So he was
That's
setting the example, quite honestly. We think Tony's this great.
Yeah, the hell
He wasn't there last year. That wasn't him.
Tito'd be great.
Yeah, he just won't be here. So
No, he probably wouldn't be. Could have
our
had
manager
Tito.
is
He's not
locked
a yes
in.
man.
Could have had Tito 10 years ago.
Wow.
12 years ago.
We got our manager's dialed in for the next couple of years.
Well, let's not rile everybody up now.
Yeah.
What's the problem? They won 2 out of 3.
You know what? Just bring in Tito.
got swept by Milwaukee.
Guys. Just bring in Tito as the bench coach. No big deal.
Oh, boy.
There would be no clamoring at that point.
No, yeah.
By the way, has anybody seen Yadier Molina?
No.
Yeah.
Like, I'm about to put his picture on a milk carton and be like, is anybody... Apparently, this guy works for the Cardinals. Apparently, he's a consultant.
He's a consultant. You
consult
don't see
over
the
the phone.
consultant all the time.
You can consult over the phone.
Then apparently, he was supposed to be at spring training late.
Yeah.
Remember that? Mm-hmm. Not
Still
when
got
pitchers
time.
and catchers showed up, like the most important time. No. It was going to be later. And
Jamie, I'm going to cut you off right here. You hammered. You hammered.
Next thing you're going to say is you don't like Albert on MLB Network.
I love Albert on MLB
Tony La
Network.
Russa. Now you're hammering a living legend in Yachty.
So I'm not hammering Yachty.
Let's just call it quits.
No, all right. No, I'm going to explain myself. I'm not hammering Yachty. I go above that. How do you make all those announcements and talk about and then you don't have him here? Like if you're going to let Yachty do whatever the hell he wants, fine. But don't make a big deal about it then.
Well, you got to sell those tickets for nothing.
Now you're the one that's disappointing me.
Would you rather see Jordan Walker in Memphis or batting earlier in the lineup with the Cardinals and kind of battling through his issues? We'll get to that next on 101 ESPN. Fastline on 101 ESPN. Would you rather see Jordan Walker having his struggles in Memphis, or if he's going to struggle, have him be at the big league level where he's going to get big league coaching and at least be part of your lineup? Greg Amsinger, who chats weekly throughout the baseball season with the opening drive, Randy Carricker, Dan McLaughlin, and Brooke Grimsley. Amsinger was talking earlier today on Walker batting up in the lineup for development. Here's what Greg had to say.
I'll just use Jackson Holliday, for example. He's always been the best player of every team he's ever been on, right? He's always played shortstop on every team he's ever been on, right? Now, he's the number one pick. Now, he's no longer like every other minor league player in your system. He's not. So he has been invested in, like $8 million signing bonus, and he's got the name that everybody knows. So he's got pressure like that. So to make him comfortable, we're going to make him comfortable. We're going to bring him up to the big leagues. We're going to point at this kid named Gunnar and say he's better at shortstop than you. You're going to play second base. So now you're going to play a position that you only started playing last year, a few games in the minor leagues. You're going to go there, and then we're going to make you wait an hour for your first at bat. We're going to bat you ninth. Because we care about you, we want to make you comfortable. We're going to do something that you've never done your entire life in baseball to make you comfortable. What? You've never done that before? Well, we care about you. You're going to hit ninth. This happened to Jordan Walker. We're going to bet you seventh. We're going to bet you eighth. At some point, you gotta sacrifice to get young players going. Get them going. See what they got. They didn't do it with Jordan Walker, and it bothered me batting the lower part of the order every single day. They're not doing it with the Baltimore Orioles, and I just think that developing young talent is still a skill, and some teams are good at it, other teams are not. I know Jordan Walker got an ample opportunity. He got a lot of at-bats. But to me, I want to see him fail hitting second and third. I do. That's what he's used to doing. He's always been the mainstay bat in a lineup his entire life. I want to see this kid be the star and build your whole team around him, because 6'6" with that athleticism is hard to find. I think the Cardinals got to recognize the talent is there.
What do you guys think about that?
I agree. I said it last year. I said that he should be batting higher in the lineup, because if you're batting in front of Nolan Arenado or Paul Goldschmidt, you're probably going to see better pitches than if you're batting in front of Mason Wynn. Mm-hmm. It's just how it goes. People don't want to put you on base because now there's a potential for you scoring with an RBI single or RBI double from one of those guys behind you. And that to me, I don't know if it's a failure on the Cardinals' part, but it's something that they never did. They allowed Victor Scott to bat first a couple of games to give him an opportunity to get on base, to see how he fared with people behind him that could drive him in. You never got Jordan Walker. I don't think he batted higher than sixth at any point.
He got up there. He was in his two-hole at times last year. He was, and he was at five. I remember. I go back. I keep these things in my office, these sheets where we play the lineup game. He got up there.
Okay.
Now, not a lot, not consistently, right. But here's where I'll agree with Greg a little bit, but I don't agree with Greg at the major league level. This is, again, why I'm going to back the decision to send Jordan Walker down to Memphis, put him in the two-hole, put him in the three, wherever you think he's best served at your major league level, put him in that spot right now. So if he's a two-hole hitter here for the Cardinals or a three-hole hitter, that's where he goes in Memphis. And that's where he figures things out. And when he gets hot, when he gets consistent, not hot, when he gets consistent, so he's going to have his hot streak, he'll cool down, or he'll cool down, then get hot. You find his median, where he stays at for the longest period of time. That's when you bring him back up and you put him right in that spot with the big league team.
But they won't do that. They haven't shown
I'm just telling you what my opinion is.
I agree. I don't think you're wrong, but I don't think that they are going to do that. They haven't shown it yet in his short major league career. It's always, we're going to bat you seventh, we're going to bat you eighth. And again, we talk a lot about confidence, and Greg hit on it. What does that do to your confidence when you are accustomed to being the guy? And now, when you get to the major leagues, when you get to professional football, professional hockey, everybody was the guy somewhere.
Yep.
Everybody, we all were. And then you got guys that are, that guy's more the guy than I was. Again, that guy's really the guy. But if you are projected to be a certain thing, given opportunity to do that. I think it's when you couple, and I don't want to make excuses because he has not been hitting the ball, so he did need to go down, I think, to get his confidence back and to have some success at the minor league level. I have no problem with that. But when you couple a young man who is, we talked about it in the office, 21 years old, what the hell were you doing at 21? I know I was still trying to figure some things out in life. You were a professional, yeah, but I was still trying to figure some things out.
I'm sure there's some people driving around that can tell you what I was doing at 21.
But you're 21, you're new to a city, you're new to a position, and you're batting 7th, 8th, or 9th and trying to figure out all of those things, and then you're not having success. So, I'm not making excuses again, but there are a lot of things that need to be assisted when you're that young, learning new things in a new place. And I don't feel like he was getting or has gotten the assist that he needs from this organization just yet.
Yeah, I agree. And look, again, a couple of different points I want to make here. Then I want to answer a text real quick. Is the point I'm making about sending him down to AAA, why it's better is you learn in front of 1,500 people, 2,000, whatever, however big the crowds get, and you've got 2 or 3 reporters, little handheld recorders, like maybe an iPhone for an interview. It's way different than stepping out to the plate, 40,000 people at Busch Stadium, and you're failing. Like, that's why part of the reason you send them down to the minors to shelter them a little bit while they get their game back on track, because it's much easier to fail in front of fewer people than it is to fail on the biggest stage.
I agree.
Now we get a text to the Air Comfort Service text line that says, Jamie, if you agree with Greg, then all goal-scoring prospects should be in the top 6 immediately. Okay, I have been saying this since I played in the NHL. It's a long time. If you're a skilled player and you get called up from the minors, you should be put in a skilled situation. The biggest mistake that teams made in the NHL when I was coming up was you're the best player in the American Hockey League, scoring 100 points. We're going to play you on the 4th line when we call you up here. And you're going to play 7 minutes a game against the other team's tough guys, and you better have your head on a swivel. But, hey, welcome to the NHL.
Right.
What are you doing?
Not helping them.
You're not helping them. And so you can't tie me to that ideal because it's not me at all. I've always said guys should play where they need to play. Now, Zach Bolduc, it's a great example this year. Sometimes do you need to baby steps a guy a little bit when you bring him up to the big leagues? Yeah, a little bit. But where did he end up? The Blues ended up putting him in a goal-scoring situation in top 6 role. And then he started to show what he could do. So I can agree with Greg at the same time as also feel like you need to go to the minors and figure out your game before you get automatically plopped into the lineup where you think you should be.
I think Greg's making excuses.
Oh, wow. You've always had it up for Greg, though.
Well, he steals my content all the time.
He did steal your content.
What?
In all
What I miss?
Oh, man, you should have seen it. It got weird.
I miss it.
In all seriousness, though, like, I think Greg provides a soft landing for the local teams or the local products. And I think that if you look at Jordan Walker statistically or with the eye test, it's not pretty. Sending him down to the minors, getting his swing right was the correct thing to do.
We said that.
It doesn't matter if the kid is hitting 2nd in the minors and 7th at the big league level.
Why not?
Because you're going to be, if you're a pitcher, you're a starting pitcher, you're a good starting pitcher. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to know where your outs are. It has not. Whether Walker knows he's going up there hitting 2nd, I don't think it's like hockey. I don't think that when you're in the minors and you're playing a certain spot at on a certain line, there's some translation there. This is not like, hey, you're a running back. You were a running back in college. We want to make you an offensive tackle. Oh, you failed. No. The batting order doesn't matter for a young player.
I disagree.
We're making excuses for a kid that's struggling. That's not to say he'll struggle forever, but let's call it for what it is.
I disagree. You played baseball. I played baseball. When the coach put the lineup out, if you were batting 1st and compared to when you were batting 9th, you didn't have a different feel for how your day was. I did. If I was batting 9th, and this is in obviously grade school, youth baseball, even when I go watch my son, if he's not batting at the top of the lineup and I know he's one of the better hitters, what the hell are we doing? I was batting 9th, and I know I can hit the ball. You don't think that plays into a person's head when you look at the lineup, when you get to the ballpark, and we've talked about this as well. A, not knowing where you're going to be playing that day because that's what the Cardinals did last year. Yeah. B, not knowing where you're batting in the lineup, and you look at that lineup and say, I know I'm a 2, 3, 4 hitter. Mm-hmm. I'm batting 8th today? What the hell are they? What the hell is this? I can, because I know that I've gotten to the stadium and got to the locker room and why the hell why my shoulder pads not in the locker? I'm not dressing today. What the hell are they doing? Who do I have to choke out? What mistake was made here that wasn't explained to me earlier in the week? If that were to take place, maybe I was injured. I thought I practiced. I'm like, I'm probably good to go. Nope. Oh, we got a problem.
Sure.
It does change your philosophy and your mindset and how you feel about that day. I'm not making excuses for his play because no matter where you are a professional baseball player. You still have to hit the ball. Mm-hmm. You still have to stay away from sliders away that you keep chasing. Those are that's a
whether
problem.
you're hitting 7th or 2nd.
No matter where you're hitting, but to say that it doesn't matter where psychology, it does. And that doesn't make you a soft or weak-minded person. Mm-hmm. That just means that when you get to the ballpark and you are here or there or not knowing where you are, it does change your approach and your philosophy for that day.
So I got to worry about as a manager in October.
Yes. Where
I slot you in if you're not productive, I have to put you.
If you're not productive, then you shouldn't be playing.
Right. So
that's not and anybody that is not productive as an athlete, a professional athlete, knows that.
But you're a young hitter. I'm not just going to give you the 2-hole.
Anytime they got into October.
I don't blame you.
You shouldn't. I mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or 3 or whatever.
They haven't been to the playoffs since he's been.
I don't think
they haven't had an October moment that mattered yet for him.
What I'm saying is I think Greg threw out kind of some nonsense.
Okay.
And as an excuse to avoid having the real conversation that Jordan Walker's struggling. It's
no
okay,
question.
which was okay to say that.
No,
I know you were. I'm talking about Amzinger's point.
He's not struggling. He's stinking.
Yes.
Let's be honest. It's not good. But Nolan
Gorman
Gorman is as well, or has been.
Sure, and there are times
Paul
where
Goldschmidt as well.
He's been on the bench,
stinking.
Sure.
And until they don't stink anymore, then you're going to have a team that's struggling.
What I'm saying is Amzinger's doing the whole Mickey Mouse look over here thing.
Oh no, yeah.
Look over here. It's the batting. No, it's not. No, it's not. The kid is chasing sliders 4 feet out of the strike zone. And until he locks in and has a better approach, has more discipline, takes the skill set that he already possesses and applies it to how pitchers are attacking him, then he needs to stay in the minors. And there's nothing wrong. The kid skipped AAA. Not everybody's going to be Ozzie Albies and Ronald Acuna and name your, Bryce Harper, name your favorite young player.
I do want to mention this text from the 636. Jordan Walker, per Baseball Reference, has 13 games, has hit in 13 games in the 2, 3, or 4 out of 137 games. In the 4-hole, he was batting, he had a 959 OPS.
With a 350 batting average. It's 22 plate appearances.
It is, but it's a small sample size, but it's the best spot that he has on his Pro Baseball Reference.
So you want to give him the cleanup spot?
Hell yeah.
He'll see more fastballs. The Cardinals have been good hitting fastballs.
No, they haven't. He can, but he does have high exit velocity. So don't throw that fastball in there to him.
Every worm in the building better be careful.
If I'm Freddie Peralta and he's in the 4th spot, I'm like, good.
Take care of that guy.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. Playoffs, the good, the bad, the ugly. We'll get into it from the NHL standpoint next on 101 ESPN.
gets calls. It's unbelievable, actually, how it goes. We got to play through that. We got to play through that stuff. I don't think there's another player in this series that gets away with picking up Bertuzzi's legs the way that he does. There's not one other player in the series that gets away with that, but he does. It's an art, and he's elite at it.
I guess now I witness it firsthand, but I love watching hockey, and even if I wasn't coaching the NHL, I was watching him and Bergeron and what the Bruins were doing, because they've always been an elite team, and he's always risen to big moments. So you look at his career points in the playoffs, like, wow.
So the first voice you heard was Sheldon Keefe, the head coach of the Maple Leafs. The second one was Jim Montgomery, the head coach of the Boston Bruins, as the NHL playoffs continue. And it has been really a wild start to the playoffs this year. So last night, you had the Bruins taking a 2-1 lead over the Maple Leafs. They went back to Swayman.
Imagine that.
And they won. Imagine that. You called Vegas upsetting Dallas. I was with you, Jamie, to see Vegas listed as an underdog when they have reloaded. I think was kind of you don't typically see this, kind of a mistake by odds makers. You were all over it last night and bet the board. Vegas wins 3-1 to take a 2-0 lead over Dallas. And then the shock of the night was Adrian Kempe and the LA Kings dotting Edmonton early and then losing their lead late or having it tied, and then they win in overtime 5-4 over Edmonton.
Take the over in that series.
There you go. This has been wild. But when it comes to the playoffs, let's do kind of the old school good, bad, and ugly. Let's start off with the good.
Yeah, so the good, and this, basically the game last night and the post-game comments are what got me thinking about this segment. And in particular, highlighting the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Boston Bruins.
Yeah.
You have a franchise that has been built on winning and hard work in the Boston Bruins, and you have a franchise that has completely underachieved for an extended period of time, which is the Toronto Maple Leafs. And just in that clip, it told me everything I needed to know. Sheldon Keefe is crying to the media about how Brad Marchand, he just doesn't get called for penalties, and he's unbelievable at drawing penalties, and nobody catches him. They just look the other way.
I thought that was LeBron for a second.
But honestly, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
What are you freaking doing?
I'll tell you exactly what you're doing. You're giving your players a reason to go into victim mentality.
100%, which they're already soft. They are.
Right, yeah. Right. You're the Maple Leafs. Of course you're soft.
But all the guys they've added, like Joel Edmondson, not soft. Like, they've got some guys they've added that are not soft. But the problem that the Maple Leafs have is their core group of players are freaking soft. Like paper mache, soft. And then your coach is crying about penalties, and the smallest guy on the ice at 5 foot. Nothing. I don't even know what. 5'7" on a good day with his hair spiked up.
Yeah.
He's dominating the series. And you hear Jim Montgomery. Brad Marchand's always been a guy that elevates. He's got 7 points in 3 games. He's mowed over guys. Tyler Bertuzzi's supposed to be that guy, that get under your skin guy. Brad Marchand has that guy talking in tongues right now.
Yeah.
He has no idea what to do. He's slashing Brad Marchand. He can't defend him. He got burned for 2 goals on the ice when Marchand was on the ice. So for me, it's the mentality. When I thought about this segment or this discussion is, you can just see winning mentalities and losing mentalities. And I'm not even saying the Boston Bruins win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that the Toronto Maple Leafs aren't.
Right.
With that kind of leadership, Sheldon Keefe, by the way, he'll probably be looking for a job after this loss as well. Please don't call him. 314 number, don't answer, Sheldon, okay? Because he always does that. He acts like he's hard-nosed and all this. And by the way, Sheldon Keefe, let me tell you a little story about Sheldon Keefe. This guy, it's the only way he played in the NHL for 40 games. Was he played like a little rat out there. He ran around and stuck guys and did all these things and took dives when he got, all this stuff that he's complaining about. I'm like, no wonder he can identify it, because that's what he was. I know. So that's why I was like, my head almost spun off last night when I heard him talking. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Right.
And so to me, Carey, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this because you've played for different coaches, different organizations. You've won at the highest level. You've won the Super Bowl. And when you hear one coach talking one way and another coach talking about how his players elevate, like, it is true. The mentality of the coach can sometimes rub off on the group.
Yeah, we definitely. I always think back to whenever we played Baltimore because that was like, AFC North headbanging, whether it was in the playoffs, excuse me, or whether it was in the regular season. We had a mentality that whoever was the toughest team was going to win. Like, you literally, not literally, but you could, just don't get caught, punch somebody in the mouth. Like, whoever hits first is probably whoever hits first and hits often is going to win. And there's going to be a time where you're going to get punched and you got to stand up and go back at them. And so if you have a coach that has a mindset, and I think that rings true for football teams, that if they are soft or if they are not tough, they're probably not going to win. I was watching the Patriots. We were watching the Dynasty, and the thing that they talked about when they played the Rams. The Rams, greatest show on turf, but teams thought they were soft. Like, they had a different way of going about things. And what the Patriots do, we're going to grab these guys. We're going to hold these guys. We're going to make the referees call the penalty. They're not calling it. You're going to get held all day. We're going to be physical. We're going to be tougher than you, and we're going to find a way to win. And so, to me, when you are complaining to the referees or complaining to the media, and it's a 7-game series, it's not one. It's not one and done. When you're doing that, you're essentially setting your team up, A, for an excuse when you lose, and B, you're setting your team up to lose because now, what you said, the opposition is in their locker room like, look at these guys. They complain. Like, you got a soft-ass coach. That means you're a soft-ass team. In my mind, if your coach is soft, then the team is soft. And so we're going to attack you. We're going to continue to do what we've been doing. And now we're going to be nudging you a little bit more, making it more uncomfortable. And might talk to your coach and tell him, look at me, look what I'm doing. So, you set yourself up for failure when your coach is not speaking in those terms and speaking those terms where it's really, really soft.
So after Brad Marchand scored the third goal of the game, which, by the way, was an absolute snipe show. He cradled a puck and roofed it before the goalie knew what the hell was going on. He skates by the Maple Leaf bench, and he says, "You guys are done in 5." Yeah, you guys are done in 5. So
you talk to him.
So hang on. Later on earlier in that game, by the way, earlier on, we talk about Swayman. Swayman was the goalie in the first game, won for the Bruins. Jim Montgomery goes back to Ullmark. They lose. Now, again, this isn't like Ullmark versus Swayman, who's better. Ullmark had a hell of a game. He made some saves he shouldn't have made. He stopped some goals that probably would have been in the back of the net. But yesterday told me everything I needed to know about who you're going to play next. And if Jim Montgomery doesn't see the same signs as me, then that's his fault. It really is. Because Max Domi, now Toronto's so rattled. One, they don't know how to play tough as a team. They don't know what it is. So they're just guessing. So Max Domi, as Swayman's skating out of his net, I think at a TV timeout or whatever, Max Domi skates close and just shoulders the goalie a little bit. And Swayman goes down. And then Pat Maroon loses it. Patty Maroon's trying to get to Max Domi and all this stuff. But that just told me everything I need to know. If you're trying to get into Swayman's kitchen, that's because you fear him. And Jim Montgomery said it after the game. He says, the fact that they're bumping into Swayman, makes me think that maybe he's in their head a little bit. I'll have to evaluate things, blah, blah, blah. If you're a team that knows how to win, a team that wants to be really tough, if you're Max Domi there, you drop a shoulder and you bury that goalie to where he can't play the rest of the game.
Right,
you're out of the game. You cost your team a penalty. Go back to when we played the LA Kings. It was 97. That's a long time ago. Their goalie, Jamie Storr, was playing really well, almost like going to claw them back into the series. Jeff Courtnall on the bench says, "Hey, guys, next time I'm out there, dump the puck in." So, dump the puck in. Goalie goes out to play the puck. Courts buries him. Runs the goalie through the end boards. 2 of their players jump him, try to fight. We end up with like a 5-minute power play out of this thing. Score 3 goals, come back, win that game, bury them in the next game. We won 4-0 on to the next series.
Nice.
But that's when you know how to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's what you do, but don't just give a little shoulder. It's almost like an uncertain, is this how I do it? Is this how we become annoying?
Is this right?
So to me, it's just a winning mentality versus a loser's mentality. And I know the series is only 2-1 right now for the Bruins, but I don't see the Maple Leafs having enough, whatever you want to call it, to come back in that series.
Gumption.
Huevos Rancheros.
Enough bells.
Huevos Rancheros.
Yeah.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. So building off this conversation, what are the Blues missing that these other playoff teams have, or at least teams that are off to a nice start thus far? Maybe not the Maple Leafs. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Gentlemen, FanDuel is giving all customers 2 chances to bring home a big win with a no-sweat same-game parlay every weekend during the NBA playoffs. All you have to do, Carey, just place a same-game parlay on any playoff matchup, and you'll get bonus bets back if you don't win.
Yeah, Jamie, you can bet on everything from rebounds to assists to three-pointers and so much more. You got the Cavs and the Magic playing. Maybe you want to take Donovan Mitchell over in points, maybe Paolo Banchero under in points. Who knows? You can put those as an SGP, and it's simple. Just go to FanDuel.com/fast to shoot your shot on America's #1 sportsbook.
Yeah, so if you have a certain feel for a certain game tonight, maybe it's Denver or Denver and the Lakers, or like Carey was saying, Cleveland or Orlando, the other matchup, the Knicks and the Sixers. You can head to FanDuel. You can build your own same-game parlay, and then you can cash in, and you keep rolling with FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com/fast. Like Carey said, shoot your shot on America's #1 sportsbook, FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or older and present in Illinois. Minimum 3-leg parlay required. Refund issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Fastlane on 101 ESPN. So, Jamie, we were just talking about the good, the bad, the ugly from the NHL playoffs, and you highlighted that Toronto-Boston series.
Yeah.
A lot of conversation locally is, okay, well, what are the Blues missing that some of these other playoff teams have? If I could just do the layup first, Vegas's roster, specifically their defensemen.
Well, they're also $10 million on the salary cap.
Who's
Jamie?
counting?
I am.
Jamie? Not talking about that. Just
Guys, I didn't say I'm not the one who's angry about it. I'm just stating a fact.
Well, then everyone should be doing it.
So what?
Take one guy every year. By the way, you're out for 4 months. You're done.
You hurt? Yeah.
Yep. We're gonna pay you anyways.
No, no, you are. So what else are they missing? As you look at this the playoff rosters, even the style. Are we learning anything? Are we reconfirming anything?
So, I think the number one thing that I've noticed throughout this playoffs is just the sheer speed of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, doesn't matter what series you're watching right now. If it's the Panthers and the Lightning, you're seeing the speed and physicality and the high-end talent because both teams possess a lot of those things, and you're seeing great goaltending. You look at the Leafs and the Bruins, you're seeing speed and physicality. I said, remember we had JR on, he's like, well, what should the Blues be looking at? And I said physicality.
Yes.
I said they need to get more physical.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the playoffs. 133 hits or something like that in the Leafs-Bruins game last night. That's one game.
Yeah.
One game. Now, you can't do that for 82 games.
Yeah.
But you can play a physical brand, and then when the playoffs come and you need to hit the gas, you've got the guys, man. You've got the dudes that can do it. And you look around the league, and look at Carolina, too. They're a team that I don't think anybody ever thought of them as a physically imposing team. They had 2 fights the other night.
Right.
From guys who aren't even fighters, grabbing guys and throwing knuckles. Like, it's just, you have to have that team toughness in each guy. Not everyone has to be, like, super tough or, like, throw the mitts down. I've never said that.
Yeah.
But there is a way to play physical hockey and tough hockey to where you're just playing the game the right way. And then the speed of it, I don't think it's a secret. The Blues are a little slower. When you go through the roster man for man, like you've got a couple of guys who can flat out burn out there, but then it drops off a little bit to where you've become a little bit more of not an aging team, but you've got guys in their early to mid 30s not skating maybe the way some of these teams are skating. Like, we saw it throughout the season when we played some of these teams. We played the Oilers, we played the Hurricanes, we played something. You're like, holy crap, they can really fly.
Yeah.
Well, look at the playoffs every night right now. Every team is flying around. So those are the two things for me that jump out is the speed and the physicality. I don't worry about the goaltending because, quite honestly, I think we have that with Binnington and Hofer.
I was watching the game last night, one of the games with my girlfriend, and one thing that she pointed out was that the other teams that we were watching, they have more energy. And that's just like a basic word to throw out, and that goes with what you're saying, Jamie, the speed. But what I noticed is that they're very direct with their passes. They're quick moving the puck. I think that's something that the Blues lack. They just seem a little indecisive when it comes to just moving the puck, especially in the offensive zone. You're trying to force passes. It's just not quick enough, and that's something that I noticed last night. And maybe these teams are doing it because it's the playoffs, but it seemed like right when they had the puck, they're either firing pucks on net or they're looking to move the puck really quick instead of taking that extra second and then losing the puck.
Yeah, so we've heard this from different head coaches of playing fast hockey and connected. These are two things that are said a lot by NHL coaches, specifically head coaches, because they're the ones who talk to the media the most. Playing fast hockey, guys, we talked about this before. It doesn't mean you have to have fast skaters. It means you have to have guys who are willing to get to the areas to get open so that you can move them the puck. And the quicker you can continue to move the puck up the ice, it actually feels like your team is faster than it really is.
Right.
So that's playing faster. Then the puck support is part 2, which I just mentioned, is you have to work twice as hard to get to an area where you can receive the puck. If you don't get to that spot where you can get a pass from a teammate, he can't pass it to you. So then what happens? He hangs on to the puck for an extra second and a half, and then the walls cave in because other teams are checking just as good as you are, they're checking. Stick on puck, body through body. You don't have more than a second of time to make a quick decision. And when your players don't battle to get to an open spot that's realistic, a lot of guys can get open 25 feet down the ice through 4 guys. I'm open. No, you're not, dummy. No, you're not. No, you're not. So the key is to be that 5, 6, 7 foot area to where you're right in the spot. Boom, you move the puck up the ice. The next guy's working. Boom, the puck's up the ice. Before you know it, you've gained the far blue line with 2 passes.
Yeah.
And the Blues lacked that at times last year when they didn't have that connected play, that puck support. That's when they slowed down. That's when they're looking for the bigger, better option. That's when they're hanging on the puck, and then turnovers happen. Mm-hmm. And then turnovers always happen at the worst time because by the time guys work to get open, they're so far up the ice now, they're not an option defensively. So then when you turn the puck over, those 2 guys are trapped up the ice. You're outnumbered now coming back to your own end, which means your defensemen, they have to back off. Why are they giving up the damn blue line? Well, because he's got no help from his forwards right now.
Yeah.
And that just ends up killing you.
It's Fast Line on 101 ESPN. We're going to play Hot Take or Hot Garbage next. So you can send those in to the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. So if you got a hot take or hot garbage, send it into the Air Comfort Service text line. We'll play that game next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals are off today. However, they will take on the Mets tomorrow. Miles Michaelis will take the mound going up against Jose Butto. We'll talk more about the Cardinals throughout the remainder of the show. We'll also dive into the NFL draft as well, as day one of the NFL draft is tonight. Coverage starts at 6 o'clock. You can listen to it right here on 101 ESPN. Coming up next, though, we have Hot Take or Hot Garbage. If you have a hot take you want to send our way, do so using the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Hot Take or Hot Garbage coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. Boom! Hot take!
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Please, if you're able to right now, tune into the YouTube channel. Anthony's microphone fell apart, and he's got a hand holding
like an 80s microphone.
Jackson 5. That was hilarious.
Welcome to the Davis wedding. Be your host tonight.
Oh, man.
How about this? Our engineer Drew's looking at me right now like, what'd you do?
Come in?
Oh, here he comes.
These are brand new, right? Pretty much.
Ish.
About
a year old.
Yeah. It just takes a little Allen key here. I think Drew's going to be all right. Anthony, why don't you take
just
Anthony's?
Keep talking.
All right. Bubbles.
Well, he's going to have to handle Anthony's mic.
Good luck with that.
It's a big mic.
You want to share? Now you can come share the microphone like really an 80s R&B group.
Hey, but don't worry. I just potted it down. I didn't turn it off so we can still see Drew going to work here on this microphone.
All right. So it's hot take or hot garbage. We asked you to chime in here. Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Marshy, what do we got?
Yeah, interesting one here from the 636. Hot take or hot garbage. If the Vikings screw up this draft, Marsh will call in sick tomorrow.
Oh, hot take.
That's hot garbage.
Hang on, Marshy might call in sick anyways. It has nothing to do with the draft. It's a Friday.
I'm not calling sick on a Freedom Friday.
Oh, that's
Freedom
right.
Friday. Oh,
That's
yeah.
right. By the way,
tomorrow's your day.
Yeah, tomorrow's your day. It's the last Friday of the month, Freedom Friday. So we'll be going to the text line and the snake pit for all the things you want to talk about.
Whatever you want it to be.
Whatever it is.
All right, from the 314, hot take or hot garbage?
Think, Anthony?
You're doing great, Anthony.
Anthony, what do you have to say?
I think Marsh will come in tomorrow to complain about the Vikings draft.
There you go.
No, that's right.
Hey, this would actually be a great time to say Nolan Arenado. Can you do it?
Nolan Arenado.
There you go.
All right, from the 314, hot take or hot garbage, the Cardinals will end up having the best rotation in the National League Central after the season is finished. The 314 says hot take.
Who cares?
Are they going to win the division? Does it matter if your lineup isn't hitting?
So wait, the question is hot garbage or hot take or hot garbage will have the best rotation when the season's over?
Yeah, after you look at all the numbers. No. After you look at all of the once you look at all the numbers, hey, there he is.
Hey, is this working, by the way?
I turned it on.
Are we? I've never used this microphone before.
I feel like one of those the producers that chime in like from the other room. Hey guys, yeah, we got
you know what you actually look like?
John on the phone.
With that little thing set up, you look like you're working the drive-thru over there.
What do you guys need?
Hi, welcome to Anthony's. Can I take your order?
With the pickles.
What's the question?
Hey, we don't know.
I wasn't paying attention.
Pick another one.
I'll say it
Anthony,
again.
pay attention this time.
I'll say it again.
Segment.
Save it.
From the 314, the Cardinals will end up having the best rotation in the NL Central after the season is finished. So when everything's said and done, they will have the best rotation.
Not like
I thought they were going to play like a tournament or something.
No, man. Like when they get done and look at all the numbers
at that point.
Are they in the tournament at that point?
Any of them. Pick one.
Nah.
ERA.
No.
Hits allowed.
Yeah, maybe.
Home runs allowed.
Maybe.
Strikeouts.
I mean,
I thought home runs allowed, so they allowed the most.
no, it said to have the best.
No.
I said I'm talking the other way. You know. Yes. Home runs allowed.
They will not have, by any metric, they will not have the best. It might be a lot better than what we thought, but they're not going to have the best starting pitching in the NL Central.
I agree.
Chris Blankley from the Snake Pit says Stalter is the devil sitting on Carey's shoulder. Why couldn't he be the angel?
I'm the angel.
He is wearing the same hoodie. If you're the angel, we're in trouble.
We are in a lot of trouble.
Carey, just listen to what I say, okay? You'll be fine.
Oh, man.
All right, from the 314, hot take or hot garbage. The Stanley Cup playoffs move way too slow. Baseball has the best playoff system.
I disagree. That's hot garbage. How quickly do you want them to play? Every friggin' night?
Please.
We just talked about 160 hits in a game. Like, Carey, I know the NFL is a very physical sport, but can you guys, we laughed about you play on Sunday, then you play on Thursday, and you're like, screw that, right? Can you imagine in the NHL you're playing every single day?
Nah.
There's no way. You couldn't do it.
That'd be a lot.
The team that would win would be the team that has more bodies at the end.
Right. Yeah, you wouldn't like the product at that point. As a viewer, you wouldn't like the product. It'd be like Carey's saying on a Thursday night. How much do you like the Thursday night football games? Now, normally it's the matchups, but a lot of the times these guys are banged up. You know, you're constantly worried about one of your stud players not being able to play. No, I agree with you, Jamie. We're talking about the NHL. You want these games to be spread out a little bit.
From the 618 hot take or hot garbage, the St. Louis Gateway Arch will have a higher attendance during the summer months than the Cardinals will before they make a major personal change.
Listen,
how many people visit the Arch?
I love the Arch. I've been up there. Like the first year I was in St. Louis, I went up the Arch. And let me tell you.
Thank you, Drew.
Thank you, Drew,
Appreciate
by the way.
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not all heroes wear capes. Thank you, Drew. Because we'll bring Anthony back from the Kona Silence. Well, I was up in the Arch a long, long time ago. It took a while to get up there. They had the little sideways elevator. Now, apparently they've upgraded the elevators.
Oh, really?
Apparently they have.
Okay.
It is a wonderful experience. It's fun. But I can't imagine that there'll be more people that go up in the Arch as there are at the Cardinals game. I mean, the Cardinals are getting 3 million. You think 3 million are going to the Arch?
I don't know what the numbers are.
Well, I'm talking about 3 million is the attendance for the Cardinals.
Yeah, I know that. I don't know what the numbers for the Arch are. I would assume millions of people come visit. Yeah, I mean, people come through. It's the gateway to the West. How many people come through St. Louis? Well, yeah, they're passing through. They stop in St. Louis.
Now, here's a fact for you that I didn't know until last year when talking about all this valleys and all this craziness that was going on, is that the tourism that is generated by the Cardinals alone. There are so many people, so many fans at every Cardinals game that are in from out of town. I forget the exact percentage, but it was shocking to me. So, if that's the case, then maybe both can be true. Because maybe people come to town to see the Cardinals and they throw in a visit to the Arch while they're here.
Maybe they'll just be coming to see the Arch and throwing a visit to see the Cardinals from here on out.
Either way, it works, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what does it say that we have to at least think about it?
You know what it says. This is not good.
No.
Not in a good place.
And to the texter's point, which I think the overall point is, if the Cardinals are struggling again like they were last year, you saw the attendance dip. It's going to dip even more so this season, and it's going to dip earlier.
I went to the free zoo this past weekend.
How was it?
A lot of people there.
Yeah.
A lot of people there.
My
It was
daughter
a
went
good
to the
time.
zoo.
With Milwaukee in town.
They had the Tiger Cubs were out for the first time.
They did. I saw them.
Carson was there, and her and her boyfriend, and she videoed the little Tiger Cubs. I was like, look at those cute little things.
That's awesome.
They're gonna rip your face off
Oh,
soon.
yeah.
I was a little disappointed, though, because I've been watching the Planet of the Apes series. There's a new movie coming out, so I figured I'd go back
catch
and
up?
watch them. Yeah, so I wanted to see the chimpanzees.
So you could communicate with them, maybe?
I was home.
There you go.
Which is learning. Yeah, but they weren't out. I didn't see any of them. I don't know if they were sleeping or if they were hiding.
Well, they're probably planning an attack.
They were plotting. They were probably stealing cars.
Yeah.
They're so smart.
Very smart.
I don't know what you call them. The monkey world? Monkey family? Is that what they would be called? Like gorillas, monkeys, chimpanzees. The ape family?
The ape family.
That's the
There's a category for them.
Orangutans.
I forgot.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. Somebody will take it.
They always weird me out in the craziest way because they do so many human-like things that I'm like, they're messing with us. Like, one, they definitely know what our language is.
Yeah.
They could probably talk to us, but they're not. They're keeping us on edge. So that's a strategy. Let's keep these guys on their heels. Meanwhile, they can do everything that we can do, and they're stronger than us. Like...
So let me get this straight.
Are they primates?
Primates.
Okay.
Right. So Jamie is not worried about the robots like the rest of us. Jamie's actually worried about the primates.
Yes,
They're taking over the world.
What if the primates are making the robots, but we don't see it happening?
Oh, man.
Come on, they weird me out a little bit. Like, they're staring at me, and I remember one time, like, kind of communicating with one, like, doing some things, and then I stopped, and I was like... He's messing with you guys. I was doing like the monkey arms and, and the monkey's like, oh yeah, that's it. Like, yeah. Hey, look at this idiot. Hey, you guys. I got a live one over here.
How funny would it be? He looks at you and he's like, yeah. He like does like the hockey, like he's shooting a puck.
Seriously.
Yeah, you.
That's all that was missing.
I've seen you.
Was like at the end to be like the little 6-shooter.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I stopped about 3 minutes in.
You're like looking back.
Realized,
I did. I'm like, wait a minute.
I'm the idiot.
I'm the idiot right now.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, the free zoo, good time.
There you go.
Wish more free agents could have visited the free zoo.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Well, maybe if the primates were out, we'd have a better chance of free agents.
That's true. Maybe they can
I think
convince
the
them.
zoo has to step up here a little clearly.
Yeah.
We got some numbers for the arch. They say about 1.6 million a year in 2022. I think 2.4 million in 2023.
Okay, so how many from what was the
But
point?
that's an entire year, I would assume, not
and we're also
just summer months.
But we're also kind of using the Cardinals' entire year too. So we're really talking about like half the season, correct?
Yeah.
The second half of the season.
Okay. The Cardinals will draw more. They'll still get their 3 million people.
They're in last.
And percentage-wise, the Cardinals
people.
only have a small window of the year. If this is yearly to the arch, like that's obviously a lot.
But we're talking about the Cardinals being bad in this hypothetical.
Gonna keep showing up.
I don't think so.
We got a text from the 314. Let's not give them too much credit. Talking about the primates, of course. I saw one stick its finger up its butt, sniff it, and fall off the wall.
Yeah, but did you see him do it again? Right?
That's true. Human beings will do it again.
You do this stuff once, right?
Yeah.
But how many times you catch yourself doing something stupid like that more than once?
Right.
Not me, of course. But
No, not you.
I've seen lots of people do that.
Yeah.
That exact thing, actually.
That's a good point.
And do it again.
It's a fast lane on 101 to ESPN. Why do teams often get the quarterback projection wrong? You got the first round of the NFL draft tonight. You could see 5 quarterbacks come off the board tonight. Why do teams get it wrong so much with the quarterback? Or is the quarterback fine? It's the other way around. It's the team. It's the structure. We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN.
Basic Concrete and Garages with 40 years of experience and an A+ rating with the BBB.
St. Louis is proud to be a baseball town and more recently a soccer town. On Friday, May 3rd, the Birds on the Bat host the Chicago White Sox. And that night, 25,000 fans 16 and older will take home a Cardinals soccer jersey presented by Purina. That's Friday, May 3rd, the Cardinals, the White Sox, and the exclusive soccer jersey giveaway. For tickets or more info, visit cardinals.com/promotion.
This is Giovanni Gallegos. Get your tickets at cardinals.com.
Calling all bobblehead collectors and animal lovers. This is one you won't want to miss. Join us at the ballpark on Saturday, May 4th, when the Cardinals host the Chicago White Sox and the 19th annual Purina Pooches in the ballpark. That day, 25,000 fans ages 16 and older will receive a bobblehead of Adam Wainwright with his lovable retirement gift, his new pup Louie, courtesy of Purina. For full details, visit cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Adam Wainwright, St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
What you want to hear. Sports. This is the Fast Lane, broadcasting live from the Car Shield studio on 101 ESPN.
So tonight, first round of the NFL draft, and by the way, you can listen to it right here on 101 ESPN starting at 6 o'clock. We're likely to see 5 quarterbacks come off the board in the first round. Maybe even 6 if Bo Nix winds up going in the first round. But we'll definitely see Caleb Williams. We'll definitely see Jaden Daniels. We'll definitely see Drake May and J.J. McCarthy. I think we'll see Michael Penix as well. And I saw Carey shaking his head. I agree with your head shake there. I don't think Bo Nix will go in the first. But why, in general, do you guys believe that teams screw up the QB position so much?
Because they're idiots.
We've got the Gauntlet next.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome.
There's no other reason, man. Like you.
Why are they idiots?
Because you reach for a position that you think you need, which you do. However, if you don't get the right guy, you're going to be in a world of trouble because of all of the other positions that you neglected because you reached for a position of quarterback. It is the most important position on the field, with no question, no doubt, no. You don't have to second guess that. It is the most important position. However, it is dependent upon the people around him. You will not have success as a quarterback if you don't have the correct offensive line to protect you, if you don't have the receivers that are running the right routes to get open, if you don't have the running backs that are running the football or pass protecting as well, and if you don't have the correct offensive play caller to assist you in all of those things. All of those things, you're the quarterback. You're the most positioned, but you are the most dependent on the most people. And so if you don't have enough people around you that are good or good enough, you're not going to have success. And we talk about, quarterbacks and drafting. You talk about drafting 6 quarterbacks. Chances are all 6 of those guys, maybe 2 of them are good. Yeah. Maybe 1 of them is elite, and 2 of them are perennial Pro Bowlers.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, all 6 of those guys some of them are going to stink. And so you reach to go get a quarterback at 17 or at 13 or at 9, when in actuality you have so many other positions that can help impact your team and help your offense to be a better team. So
how many teams over the course of, the last 25 years, maybe even longer, how many teams do you think have screwed up the quarterbacks, good quarterbacks, because they picked them in the wrong spot and didn't have the team around them? Like, Anthony, you and I talk about this. I brought this up several times.
Yeah.
I don't think they were good.
Well, okay, maybe.
I think that would be more.
But if you look at, like, some of the quarterbacks that, let's just use in recent history, the New York Jets and some of the awful teams that draft quarterbacks really high, and then they can't build around them, and the quarterback then, I don't know if the quarterback's just not good or they can't become good. Like, I don't know if it's the chicken or the egg with some of these things.
I would assume that, yes, you need pieces around you, but if you are it's tough, especially it depends on what position is lacking. If you got receiver, if the line is lacking, you'll know because he's got pressure in his face all the time. But then you run into the issue where, like you had a Sam Darnold where he's saying, I'm seeing ghosts. He's not seeing, it's not he wasn't seeing ghosts in terms of he was afraid. He's seeing things that aren't there. Maybe it's because too much pressure is in his face. Maybe because he doesn't know what the heck he's looking at. But you run into those issues where the quarterback is not as good as you need him to be and cannot overcome some of the deficiencies that you have on that offense already. So if you are a really good quarterback, there are times where you can overcome some of those issues. But if you stink and you have an offense around you that stinks, no offense to this guy, but Mac Jones comes to mind. I didn't think he was a first-round quarterback. He didn't have enough around him. I don't even know who the hell his receivers were. Like, you can't name me a Patriot receiver probably since Wes Welker and Randy Moss.
So, but that actually plays into my...
And they all put them all together.
But that plays into my...
Dan Amendola, all of them.
But everything you're saying plays into my question is, are we really finding out if they're good or bad quarterbacks? Because if you give a guy like a top first-round pick a crap sandwich to deal with, no protection, no receivers, maybe a bad offensive coordinator, maybe a head coach that's a defensive coordinator, doesn't really know how to develop quarterbacks, all of a sudden you have this talented young man, because he must be talented to be rated or picked in the first round, but you've ruined him. Or you broke him before you could actually build him up.
I think Baker Mayfield would probably be the best example of that. He had 3 or 4 head coaches while he was in Cleveland, which means he had 3 or 4 offensive coordinators, and everybody pretty much wrote him off. He got to L.A., did a pretty decent job, and then he got to Tampa and did a really good job and was rewarded with a contract. It's hard to get to that point, though. Normally, that person is mentally,
how many Baker Mayfields are out there that didn't get those opportunities?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said. It's rare that you can go through all of that transition in your organization and still eventually come out on the right side of things. Normally, if you get to that point, it's a wrap. And so we never know if it was he really good? Or was he bad in a bad offense, or was he really good in a bad offense? You don't know because you did not put the other pieces around that player to give him the best chance to be successful.
I think it's a case-by-case basis, really, though. I mean, you could get a quarterback that may not have the intangibles. Maybe he's 6'4", and he's got an arm and all that stuff, and he does have receivers, but there's no connection there. He's not a leader, and he fails. I think we see that less than all the other stuff, but I also think, and Jamie, you hear me say this a lot, if you're not marrying the system to the quarterback, you got an issue. Kyle Shanahan's offense was married to Brock Purdy. Purdy, from a footwork standpoint, accuracy standpoint, intelligence standpoint, football IQ standpoint, it worked.
Probably look at all the best
doesn't
ones.
work. It doesn't work with it. There's only a handful of elite dudes, right? Like, let's be real. Patrick Mahomes, elite. Joe Burrow, elite. There's only a handful of guys that you can put in any situation. Like Tom Brady was the system.
Yeah, but he wasn't to begin with.
He wasn't to begin with.
You watched that dynasty, and Bill Belichick and their staff literally say, okay, we needed to build a Tommy offense, something for Brady.
Right.
And they changed some of their concepts, some of their offense and everything because Brady wasn't ready to expand the playbook yet.
And I think that's the biggest miss more than anything else. You don't have a coaching staff that says, this is what this guy can do right now. Let's build an offense around. Like, Carey, when you're talking about building around, I agree. It's offensive line, strong running game, hopefully a wide receiver that can separate and all that. but more so it's about what the system does for the quarterback.
But I agree.
Because it's system first, and then you start to use the skills. Right, you teach the system for this is a Bill Walsh thing. This is not my thing. You teach the system first, and then in year 2, you match the skill set to the system.
I agree with that, but I also think that teams reach on quarterbacks more often than not. And I can give you some names from 2017. Mitchell Trubisky, Deshaun Kaiser was like the first second-round pick taken, which could be. You got Sam Darnold in 18. You got Josh Rosen in 18. These are first round. Baker Mayfield was a first round draft pick. Now you got Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson in that draft as well. Those are the two that you would say, okay, they're elite. But you drafted 5 guys in that first round that were not.
Yeah.
Donald and Rosen were drafted ahead of Lamar Jackson. Those teams reached for a quarterback that was not good. 19, Drew Lock was a second round pick. Dwayne Haskins passed on, no longer here. Daniel Jones, Kyler Murray. Both of those franchises want to find a new quarterback. At least that's what they've been talking about. That's first round quarterbacks. The one standout will be 2020 when you got Hurts, you got Love, you got Hurts, Herbert, Burrow, and Tua. Now that's a damn good draft. But how rare is it to get 3 or 4 guys in a draft that are Pro Bowl quarterbacks, can take your team to the Super Bowl, can have that success.
Right.
Herbert hasn't had the playoff success yet, but he's a damn good quarterback. Joe Burrow has made it to the Super Bowl. Tua, not the playoff success, but we assume he's going to be really good.
Right.
We don't know about Jordan Love, and Jalen Hurts has been to the Super Bowl and was second in MVP voting. It's hard to find that. So you're going to have more of the Mitchell Trubisky's, more of the Sam Darnold's and Josh Rosen's, more of the Dwayne Haskins and Daniel Jones and Kyler Murray's than that group in 2020.
Sure.
So that's why I'm saying to me, it's almost pointless. 21, Zach Wilson and Trey Lance were second and third. They don't even, people don't even know that Trey Lance is still in the league.
Right. But 9 teams also passed on Patrick Mahomes. So it's like,
but
I'm
that's
with you.
Poor scouting, but that's also, it's poor scouting on both ends. To draft a quarterback second that is on his second team now and no longer, and was removed from a starting position in Zach Wilson, and same thing with Trey Lance. To me, it's too hard, and it puts your team in a complete deficit if you get it wrong.
Real quick, Carey, are you saying that you should build the team first and then add the quarterback?
I would love that, yeah.
Okay.
I think that would be
I think that's a conversation that's going to be, that'll be interesting. Maybe we'll dive into that, I don't know, some point today in the future, because I think that's interesting. I think that's a unique take. And I don't necessarily know if I agree with it, because then I feel like you're pigeonholing yourself and, we got the team now. We just need the quarterback. And then you're reaching on a QB anyways.
It's easier to get one guy than 10 guys, in my opinion.
Yeah, unless it's a quarterback. But it's an interesting take, Gary. And it's one I haven't heard a lot of people have. So, again, maybe we'll dive into it a little bit later on. But we got the Gauntlet next. We had a returner, right?
Yep.
Uh-oh. Oh, it's our guy.
Is it Dylan?
It's Dylan.
Yeah.
Dylan's going to take on Marsh, Carey, or me next on 101 ESPN.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Don't pay retail for your diamond engagement ring or gift. Come to CleanOrigin.com. Founded by a family who have been leaders in the diamond industry for more than a century. That's CleanOrigin.com.
Warriors, 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you master the Gauntlet?
The Gauntlet is powered by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit Mastor.com.
404, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Carey Davis, with Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. We welcome Dylan back for round 2 of the Gauntlet. What's up, Dylan?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
It's going good, man. I just feel obligated to ask, how's the leg?
Doing good. Feeling good. And ready to go on Sunday. Play softball every Sunday.
Nice.
Ready to hit some dingers.
Attaboy. Excellent. All right, Dylan, so you got past Jamie Rivers. Setting up a round 2 matchup with who? Who do you want?
I'll take you on today, Stalter.
Oh, sweet. Mary and Joseph. All right. Good luck, Dylan. I hope you like hockey.
All right, same to you.
Actually, I don't think I had hockey.
No, you didn't have it last time. I think you had random last time, too. All right, Anthony is making his way to the Cone of Silence. Dylan, while he's doing that, tell our guy Marshy to spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel, Marshy.
All right, do you have a preference against Anthony? Like, is there a strategy here?
Hockey's always a good choice against Anthony, but I know he's been kind of hot with it lately, so.
All right, well, it's not hockey. You got baseball today, buddy.
Perfect.
All right, well, as Marshy goes through the secret files here with the questions on it, each question, Dylan, as you know, is worth 2 points if you don't use the options. If you do use the options, answer correctly, it's worth 1 point. Obviously, if you get it wrong, you get nothing. And if you're tied at the end of it, we'll have a tiebreaker, and we will get a winner here today in the Gauntlet. Dylan, are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, brother, here we go. Baseball, again, the category question number 1. On Tuesday night, Angels star Mike Trout hit leadoff for the first time since 2020. How many AL MVP awards has Trout won?
Say at least 3. I'm going to shoot my shot here. Let's say 4.
Final answer.
Yeah, still with my gut.
All right.
Question number 2. Jordan Walker was once again optioned to AAA Memphis. When Walker was originally sent down last April, who replaced him on the Cardinals roster?
Who got brought up?
Yes.
I'll take options.
Is it Lucan Baker, Matthew Liberatore, or Taylor Motter?
Let's go Lucan Baker.
Who'd you say?
Lucan Baker.
Lucan Baker. Okay. Final answer?
Final answer.
All right.
Question number 3. Johnny Cueto just agreed to a minor league contract with the World Series champion Texas Rangers. In 2010, Cueto karate kicked which former Redbird during a bench clearing brawl? Karate kick.
I was just talking to my buddy about this week. It was Jason LaRue.
Final answer?
Final answer. Final answer.
All right, last question here for you, Dylan. Name the only active major leaguer to have been hit by a pitch more than 200 times.
200. Options, please.
Is it Jose Abreu, Charlie Blackmon, or Anthony Rizzo?
Let's go with Charlie Blackmon.
Final answer?
Final answer.
All right. Let's get Anthony back in here. He's falling asleep.
By himself.
That was a little quick there, yeah.
Yeah. He must be tired.
Probably a little tuckered out. It's Thursday.
Yeah.
You know?
He's been moving all around the studio.
Yeah, walking back and forth.
Oh, yeah,
he didn't get his protein. He dropped some chicken. So.
He did. He was mad, too.
He was talking
about me dropping the chicken. Yeah, man. When you spend the time to make your lunch.
For me, the best part was watching you evaluate whether you eat
or not. Yeah,
that was fun.
Maybe not.
I don't think so. Not today. Not today.
Well, I know you spilled your chicken, but I hope you packed a lunch.
Oh boy.
Category baseball.
I did pack my lunch. Just some of it landed on the floor.
Baseball.
Okay. Oh, baseball.
Yeah,
all right.
Baseball.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, ready.
Okay. You don't seem ready.
No, I'm ready.
No, he doesn't seem ready, Carey.
I'm locked in.
Are you?
All right.
Mm-hmm.
You say so.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 1. On Tuesday night, Angels star Mike Trout hit leadoff for the first time since 2020. How many AL MVP awards has Mike Trout won?
Oh, he's got at least 3. And you're going to give me the old 2, 3, 4. 2 seems like it's too few, and 4 seems too high to me. So I'll just go with the number I threw out. 3. Final answer.
Question number 2. Jordan Walker has once again been optioned to AAA Memphis. When Walker was originally sent down last April, who replaced him on the Cardinals roster?
Oh, wow. Who would that have been? Taylor Motter went up and down a couple of times. I'll get the options.
Is it Luken Baker, Matthew Liberatore, or Taylor Motter?
I want to say it was Luken Baker. It wasn't Liberatore. And I think Motter. No, I'm going to go with Luken Baker. Final answer.
Question number 3. Johnny Cueto just agreed to a minor league contract with the World Series champion Rangers. In 2010, Cueto karate kicked which former Redbird during a bench-clearing brawl?
Yeah, ended Jason LaRue's career, unfortunately. Yeah, Jason LaRue. Final answer.
All right. Last question. Name the only active major leaguer to have been hit by a pitch more than 200 times.
Wow.
It's not Roger Dorn.
Damn it, Dorn.
Dorn, this guy used to throw inside on you. Grab a bat. So, major leaguer that was hit more than 200 times? Is that what it was?
He's been hit by a pitch more than 200 times.
Oh, man. I'll take the options. Something will jog for me, hopefully.
Jose Abreu, Charlie Blackmon, Anthony Rizzo.
Wow. Abreu, Blackmon, or Rizzo. Abreu played for a long time. I'll just go with the odds. I'm going to say Bobby Abreu, final answer.
Okay. Let's go over this. Let's start in reverse.
A different player.
Let's start.
Yeah.
No, that's fine, guys. Let's go over this, starting with that question first.
What did I do?
Nothing. Can I just proceed, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Since I'm the game show host, if you want, I can just make you lose right now.
You don't do that to him. Let him. It's okay. It's okay. Let's play.
I looked up. These guys were laughing. I did something.
Yeah.
Well, let's go over it. Name the only active major leaguer to have been hit by a pitch more than 200 times. Dylan took the options, said Charlie Blackmon. Anthony took the options.
What were the
and
options
said
again?
Bobby Abreu.
What were the options?
Jose Abreu.
Jose Abreu.
Yeah. All right. Answer
Not
is...
Bobby Abreu, of course.
Answer is...
Anthony Rizzo.
Anthony Rizzo. Didn't matter. Didn't matter.
Boy, I screwed that whole up. I missed active, and I named the wrong Abreu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not brothers, either.
No. We don't think. Question 3. Johnny Cueto just agreed to a minor league contract with the World Series champion Rangers. In 2010, Cueto karate kicked which former Redbird during a bench clearing brawl? Dylan, you said Jason LaRue. Anthony, you said Jason LaRue. Answer is...
It is Jason LaRue.
But neither of you needed the options. We're 2-2 after 2. Let's go to question number 2. Jordan Walker has once again been optioned to AAA Memphis. When Walker was originally sent down last April, who replaced him on the Cardinals roster? Dylan, you said Lukenbaker. Anthony, you also said Lukenbaker. You both used the options, by the way. Answer is...
Taylor Motter.
Taylor Motter.
It's the mott sauce.
The mott sauce, baby. I mean, come on. Who doesn't remember that? All right, we're down to the down to the final question here. On Tuesday night, Angels star Mike Trout hit leadoff for the first time since 2020. How many AL MVP awards has Trout won? Now, what's funny is you guys both said the very same thing immediately following the question. Dylan, you said, well, it's been at least 3. Anthony, you said, it's at least 3. And then you did your little mathematical voodoo magic, and Dylan decided that he's going to just shoot from the hip. So Dylan said 4. Anthony, you said 3. One of you is correct.
Oh, boy.
Dylan.
You have chosen poorly.
The answer is 3.
Wow.
Dylan, you had it on the tip of your tongue, buddy.
I knew after I said 4, the same thing Anthony said. I'm like, that sounds like too many.
That's all right. At least you had the right Abreu or listen to the question.
Didn't even go with Abreu.
Yeah, you didn't even go with Abreu. So
it ends up 4-2 Anthony today.
Wow. Dylan, hey, we hope to see you at the Home Run Derby this year, man. Glad everything's going well for you.
Yeah, it's going good. Excited to see you guys there.
Absolutely. All right, brother.
Dylan.
Take care. Thanks for listening, as always.
Yep, thanks for having me on, guys.
All right,
see you later, buddy.
All right, see you later.
Good job, Anthony. You totally redeemed yourself.
If it was only active that I overlooked, but the fact that it was active
for the
and
options. The option. You got the option.
You got Abreu.
All I heard was Abreu. I thought Bobby Abreu.
That's what you got. I'm like, nah, let's keep the feet moving here.
I won.
Good job.
It's not how you win. It's that you win.
Anthony, Bobby Abreu won a Major League Baseball home run derby. Can you name the year and the park that it happened at?
St. Louis in 2006. 2007.
No.
What is it?
2005 at Comerica Park.
Son of a...
You should know, you're a Detroit guy.
It's true.
It's very true.
Yep.
It's very true. Okay.
Good job, Anthony.
Hey, thanks. Young head coach or veteran head coach? What are the advantages or disadvantages? Well, some of these teams, including the Blues, are going to have to figure that out. We'll talk about that next on 101 ESPN. When it comes to Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, one of the best features that they have, and a benefit certainly to its customers, is that they have over 700 vehicles all in one location, all out in Herculaneum. It's not brand new right now, but it's still very new. The dealership looks fantastic, and when you go out on the lot, you know, man, I'm going to find my next new car here, or truck, or van, or SUV, whatever you're looking for. Auto Centers Nissan, they have them. They've got new Nissans, so if you're looking for a new Nissan Rogue or a new Nissan Pathfinder, they have those. If you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle, though, different make, different model, they have a wide selection. Like I said, over 700 vehicles. And right now, they've got their Fresh Start program going on throughout the month of April, where you can take advantage of several different incentives, including no down payment needed and 3 months of no payments, up to $5,000 off MSRP or 0% APR and payment terms, all the way up to 84 months. The new Nissans, of course, come with your exclusive lifetime warranty as well as a 30-day return promise. But you're going to love the experience overall from Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. As I always say, they take care of you from sale to service. great incentives, great pricing, financing options for everyone, and again, all in one location out in Herculaneum. Visit them online at autocentersnissan.com, and when you head out to Herculaneum, tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan. So the Blues need a head coach. I think a lot of Cardinals fans would like the Cardinals to replace their manager.
They won 2 out of 3. What are we doing here?
This guy.
Like I said, a lot of Cardinals fans, a lot of them, not all, would like to see their team replace their head coach. And Jamie, you and Marsh specifically were kind of having an interesting conversation in the office before the show, talking about whether or not a team should hire a head coach that they need as opposed to maybe the players like or wants. Now, everybody listening right now will be like, well, yeah, they got to go with somebody that they need. Well, sometimes the need is to find a head coach that is going to galvanize the team. Mm-hmm. It's interesting when you look at the two local teams here. You could go in many different directions depending on like what the need actually is. What do you think the Blues need from a head coaching standpoint in terms of veteran, young guy, somebody that can relate to the players, somebody that's going to be more maybe hard-nosed?
Yeah. I think that's to be determined right now because it's all going to depend on who they hire. Like who they hire will tell you what the front office thinks the team needs.
Sure.
And to take you behind the curtain a little bit here, when Marcia and I were talking, Carey, you were there too, is, you know, the conversation was more of at what point does a front office / ownership find the best coach for the team and not necessarily the best coach for the players? And the thought process behind it was so many organizations in all professional sports and even at the collegiate level have gone to find that partnership coach with the modern day athlete. You know, we're gonna work through this together.
Right.
You know, like tell me about your feelings and tell me like I'm not. But
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I know where you're going.
And some of those teams have had success. A lot of them have found out that once the players start dictating who the coach is going to be, that the outcome isn't necessarily what you desired it to be.
Right.
And I think that can be true in all walks of life. I think that if you have a boss that is always on the same page as you and finds a way to always make it feel like you guys did this together and there's no pushback, and I find that after a while, it may work at first, but ultimately when there's adversity, then it clashes, and then it feels out of sorts, whether it's a boss or a coach or whatever. And all of a sudden, you're not on the same page, and what happened here? How are we not on the same page anymore?
Yeah.
And I think you're seeing a good percentage of teams in all the sports going for a coach now that has a nice little balance of being able to communicate with the modern-day athlete, but still reverting back to, like, a little bit of that old school. Like, let's go through it. Look at Bruce Cassidy, the Vegas Golden Knights last year, won the Stanley Cup. It's a good dude. Guys like to hang out, they like to golf with him, have beers with him. You ask his players if they enjoy playing for him all the time.
Yeah.
They're going to say no.
Mm-hmm.
Ask the Boston Bruins. They were like, this guy, but he was a winner. He won last year, won the championship, got the Bruins to the Stanley Cup final against the Blues. The Bruins did not have a losing record under Bruce Cassidy. So that's one example. You go Bruce Bochy.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Bochy's a nice man. But when he needs to put his foot down, he does it. And you don't question him. So I think that to me is kind of where we're at now. And Carey, you can certainly speak to the NFL side of it, is you get those nice guy coaches that everybody seems to get along with, and at some point it implodes because nobody has that, for lack of better words, that fear of that person.
I think it depends. I think it's not a fear. I think it's more of a respect, because
it can be both.
I think of Coach Dungy, Tony Dungy, and when I say I was there, I didn't hear him raise his voice higher than this right here. But when he spoke, every man in that room listened, and they stopped what they were doing. He gathered everyone's attention. He garnered everyone's attention, and you didn't have to have, a lot of hollering, hooping and hollering. He just said what he meant what he said, and people respected him to the point where they were going to do what was required of him. I think for a team, whether it be a young team or an old team, you have to have a coach that is able to do both at most times, but more so than anything, a coach that you respect. Because if you respect your coach, even when he's yelling at you or praising you, you don't want to let that person down. And so I think that's the most important aspect of hiring a coach, is someone that the guys are going to respect. If he's too buddy-buddy, then he probably can't have that relationship. But if he's too hard, they're probably not going to listen to him. But when you respect your coach, you'll run through a wall for him. Whatever he says is the truth, is the gospel, and I'm going to do, because he said it. I'm going to do everything he asks me to do every single time, because I know he has my best interest at heart. I know he wants us to win, and I know he's asking for this from me because he would do it himself, or because this is what is required and what's best for the team to have to win games and be a champion.
Yeah. Anthony, what do you think?
I think finding that delicate balance is key. And when you have somebody that doesn't respond necessarily to the fear factor, you better have another side of you. Because if a player, or to use your example about working maybe in a business, if you don't feel connected to what you're doing, connected to your team, connected to your boss, connected to your fellow employees, then you're not going to be motivated. That's just the bottom line. I do believe fully in having somebody to come in and a leader saying, "Hey, listen, you're capable of more, and we're going to need a hell of a lot more out of you," and pushing the right buttons. And I think there's several different ways to do that. I don't think you can be firmly in one camp, players coach, or the other, complete dictator. I think both things wind up being short-lived. Like you said, players coach. Man, we like this guy. I want to play for this guy. And all of a sudden, the players are starting to dictate things, and then that coach is out. Or the dictator, where it's like, I'm not playing for this dude.
Yeah.
And you start to play for the name on the back as opposed to the logo on the front. So I really think the guys, Bruce Bochy, Phil Jackson kind of knew the right buttons to push. I need to let Dennis Rodman be Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
I've heard Mike Tomlin, maybe, and Carey, I think you've echoed this about Mike Tomlin. I'm not going to treat everybody the same way, but I'm going to treat you fairly. And I think you just mentioned that too. So, like, I think that when you have a coach that understands that you're dealing with human beings that operate and are motivated differently, and you can tap into that, those are hands down the best coaches, the best leaders, and the best teachers. Now, finding those guys that have all that, that's the tricky part.
So here's where I fall on it, and this is just my coaching philosophy if I was a head coach of any pro sports team, is training camp, spring training, whatever you want to call it, that's when you have your partnership. Believe it or not, a lot of head coaches, they think that that's the time to kick guys in the ass the whole time. I don't believe in that because I don't think that you break people before you earn their trust.
That's a great point.
I don't think you do that. I think that that's how you lose the group. So for me, training camp or spring training, tryouts, whatever it is, that's where you build your partnership. And what I mean by that is you have a pretty good idea of who your roster is going to be. And even outside that, maybe the extra 4 or 5 guys that could push for a roster spot. This is when you start going over the game plan. Here's what our defensive zone is going to look like. What do you guys think? You get the players to talk. Well, what would you do here? You have a conference with your players group, and you go through it, and you build a system together. It's your system, but you're letting them add their own pieces to it. So they're buying in now, right?
Yeah.
And this is great. And this is what I do. And we document all of this. We put it in the computer. We put it on there. We save it. Defensive zone. And I even put players' names or numbers besides suggestions and things like that. On to the next one. And then what happens is about 25, 30 games, 40 games into the season, when things start to go sideways, guess what? We're going back to the talk we had. And when I'm the a-hole that now is ticked off at you and holding you to the standard, by the way, that you guys provided me with the standard. This is what we're doing. This is what we all agreed upon. You're not doing it.
Yeah.
So don't be pissed off at me now because I'm holding you accountable.
Right.
I'm holding you accountable to your own rules. So if we're going to win here, we go back to what we decided together, and it's my job to tell you, you're not doing it. You need to play better, or I'll find somebody who can provide me what you're supposed to do, but based on what you guys determined was going to be the systems.
Yeah, that's great.
I was going to say, to the training camp point, I think there's a different side of that, too, because you can have a coach that kicks your butt, and then it brings the players closer together. Because when we were Mike Tomlin's first year,
football's different.
Man, it was full pads every day. It was to the point where, offense and defense like this guy.
Well, the old Herb Brooks thing, right? They come together because they hate me.
There you go.
Right. Yeah.
And then
I just don't know how that flies.
It softened I wouldn't say softened, but it got easier as we got later in training camp and into the season.
But trust me, I went through it too. We had Mike Keenan that thought that unless you're puking, you're not working. and it drives the guys closer together. But ultimately, Mike Tomlin's case, he's been able to massage it in different ways so that he never loses the group. A lot of coaches like that, Carey, they lose the group.
And it was more him challenging us than like we were getting beat down, but it was more of a challenge. Are you all up to this challenge? And yeah, hell yeah. And so it became competition amongst each other as opposed to just beating each other down every single day.
And that it just goes back to, my original thoughts is trying to build that partnership. And when you make the players accountable to what they consider to be the standard, well, that's also the culture now of your team.
Yeah.
So that's why I like that.
Jamie, I want to let you know, text from the water boy, football and hockey are different sports.
Yeah, they are.
So we are aware.
Although I would like to see football played on skates.
Did I send you the video where they had I thought I sent it to you. We should do it. They had a football game. It was they were on ice.
Yeah,
but they were in shoes.
Oh, no,
I saw that. I saw that.
Let's put guys on skates.
I can't skate. You're not going to get guys.
Well, then, Carey, you can't play for my team.
I don't care how accountable you are.
I was friendly, but just very stern.
I can't skate.
That's good. He's a player's coach and a dictator. 314-399.
Coach, though, for us.
I appreciate it.
314-399-9646 to the Air Comfort Service text line. Send in your questions next. We've got our Sports Six back here on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals are off today, but they'll take on the New York Mets tomorrow. Miles Michaelis on the mound going up against Jose Butto. First pitch is at 6:10. Tonight we have day one of the NFL Draft. The coverage for you starts at 6 o'clock. You can listen to it right here on 101 ESPN. We'll continue talking about the draft throughout the remainder of the show. We'll also talk with Battlehawk wide receiver Jahcour Pearson, so stay tuned for that. Once again, Jahcour Pearson of the Battlehawks at 5 o'clock. But coming up next, we have our Sports Six-Pack. So if you have a question you want to send our way, do so using the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Sports Six-Pack coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
Time for the Sports Six-Pack here on the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, Andrew Marsh with your questions.
Question number one.
All right, from the 618, if we were to draft, obviously the NFL Draft is tonight.
Yeah.
If we were to draft from another show on Radio Row, who would we take in for 1 week? Who would we draft?
So like one person?
Here? One person from
Josh Ennis.
Radio Row.
I have a different.
Josh Ennis.
Okay.
Nah,
we'll put it to a vote.
Who you got?
Should we all write it down?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that hard, but
Well, I just said mine out loud.
So Carey said Josh. I like Josh.
Yeah.
I say Scott Rizzuto.
That's what I wrote down. I wrote down Riz.
Scott Rizzuto. What, you don't want that 25 share coming to the Fast Lane?
You know what?
That's kind of what I was thinking.
I wrote down Rafe.
Rafe is great.
Rafe is great, too.
You're not wrong.
And Riz, don't let him fool you. He's sneaky opinionated on all things sports.
Mm-hmm.
His son plays hockey here at Chesterfield, so he knows about hockey. He knows about Cardinals baseball. He's from the New York area, so he can talk about the Yankees, the Mets, and the Islanders and Rangers. Like, he's got a little bit of an arsenal there.
Yeah.
I'm with you all. You know?
Like, I like Josh and all.
Josh is great. I would prefer it if we could talk.
Well, that's probably why I picked Josh, because I was just going to sit back
you're
there.
Have a day off. I got you. Well, in that case,
A week?
Hell, Josh is like 4 hours. That's it.
Josh is already on the 40-man. He's a part of the Memphis shuttle.
Okay.
He'll come in here and there. So
He does come in a lot. No. I was just going to sit back there and let him go.
Josh is funny. Riz is funny, too. I just feel like, Anthony, you and I know Riz.
He's great.
He fit in pretty damn good.
Yeah, we hate him because he's on that show, but
of course,
from a talent, it's kind of it's a total Anchorman thing where I hate you, but I respect you. You know? So yeah,
I've seen teammates hate each other's guts and go on to win a championship.
Exactly.
It happens.
Yeah,
seen a lot.
Question number two.
From the 314, what would you consider a success for City SC in their second year? Do you look more at the fairy tale that was last season or come back to reality and just be thrilled with a playoff berth?
I think a playoff berth would be fantastic. Yeah, playoff series would,
Like you did
the playoffs.
Yeah, you did a lot last year.
Earn a first round series.
You didn't win in the playoffs. You didn't win that series, and so
you lost to Sporting KC of all teams.
Correct.
Sporting Kansas.
And a lot of people, Jamie, you and I had this discussion. A lot of people like, hey, it's still a good season, whatever, and it was. It was a fun, memorable, incredible season. But I'm sorry, the expectations changed throughout the course of the year when they were playing as well as they were. Now, I know they had a dip and all that, and they got injuries, but you don't have a season like that and not have it be disappointing the way that it ended.
Yeah,
and that's okay. That's a good thing to have your expectations rise. It doesn't mean that, you can't be, you think that the whole season is now trash. It wasn't. It was incredibly memorable. Damn it, don't lose a first round series to Sporting KC.
Yeah. I'm with you, and I think that says something, too, about the season that they did have, is that we were left disappointed. Can you imagine having an expansion team and you leave the season disappointed?
It's great. It's a great thing.
That means they did their job.
Definitely.
Question number 3.
Staying with the draft, if you were a player, this one's from the 314, if you were a player getting drafted tonight, what team would you want to play for strictly because of the head coach and the front office, that they're great? The city is awesome. You know you'd be taken care of.
Chiefs, Ravens.
I don't know about the Chiefs. All the players, everybody in the league says it sucks to be there.
Oh, does it?
I mean, they win championships, but
it doesn't suck.
You'd want to play in Baltimore?
Yeah. For Harbaugh and that.
No thanks.
I also said the city. I also said the city is awesome.
I'll pass.
Let me tell you about Baltimore, Anthony. Gunshots at the Days in Baltimore. My very first time there.
Yeah?
Yeah, down the hallway.
Oh, in the building?
In the hotel.
Jamie, you know where I'm from.
That's true.
Actually,
I'm from
we
9.5 miles.
Yeah.
So.
We don't know where you're from.
I've been to that 9.5 mile.
Yeah, it's a rough area.
It all makes sense now.
So, yeah, give me Baltimore.
Ooh.
I would go Miami.
I mean, would you?
Hell yeah.
I don't know that that's conducive for a long career for a young man.
Who said a long career? I said, where would you like to play? To hell. I lived in South Beach when I played for the Panthers. Can't believe I only played one game.
That's incredible.
Question number 4.
That's awesome.
From the 636, we have the technology and the financial means to put 10 to 12 eyes on every play in every sport at any time. Why is there such a problem with officiating making sure that all the calls are correct? Why do the coaches have to burn challenges to look at plays that anyone can see with instant replay immediately after it happens?
So I used to have that exact viewpoint. I've made that statement, paraphrasing that statement so many times before. I have now come to realize that a lot of it is just it's flow of the game. Yes, we have the technology. Can you make it quick? And clearly not, because they haven't been able to. So they add these challenges and stuff to keep the action flowing. You don't want to watch, if you're a huge NBA fan, you don't want to sit there tonight and watch 3 games where it's just a foul fest consistently because they can call these fouls. If it's instant replay, yeah, make the big calls right as best as you can and keep it flowing, keep it moving. It is, at the end of the day, yes, it's sports and it's our teams and there's a lot invested, but it's also television.
Yeah, shot clock. I think you need a shot clock on your challenges. If the challenge takes more than a minute and a half, then the call on the field stands.
Right.
The call on the ice stands. If you're splitting hairs that much, the call on the ice stands for me.
Yeah, you got 600 camera angles, and it's still tough to tell. Well, all right, the initial call stands.
And you've got people whose job is specifically to watch the replays we've seen it behind the scenes. The XFL showed us their little replay room.
Right.
They're watching everything, every single play. Quick challenge, boom, go to cameras 3, 4, 5, and 7.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, no, that wasn't pass interference. Or, no, that wasn't offside. Okay, that was quick. Thank you.
Yep. Make the call, challenge it, boom. Keep it moving. Make the decision, though. It's all about flow.
Question number 5.
Right, Carey?
Yep.
Yeah.
From the 314.
Piece of insurance.
Going back to the draft, do you guys have any bold predictions for tonight's first round?
Oh, this is good. Let's answer that next on 101 ESPN. What's your bold predictions tonight in the NFL draft? We've got your draft coverage coming up at 6 o'clock immediately following the Fast Lane.
I love Jamie. He's so oblivious sometimes. He's so oblivious sometimes. It is amazing. And it's so innocent. He's like, what? We got what?
What's coming up?
A little context here. We have
I didn't have tears on the show.
Oh, my God.
We have like a full rundown and a grid of what we talk about, and
Right
I
in
don't
front of
even
us.
I don't even see it over
You
there.
have it propped up in front of you.
I've got notes and everything written on it.
He
Jamie's
said it
like,
at least 4 times today, though. That's the, I don't know what we have next, but I do know what we have during the show at some point.
Right.
He's like,
Jamie.
what?
Jamie, you're doing great, buddy.
Thank you, Anthony.
All right, what's your bold prediction? What is some of your bold predictions for the NFL draft? Can I start? Actually, can I throw one out?
Sure. Yeah, please do.
I think one of these teams that we're not expecting in the top 10 is going to take a receiver. Because one of these everybody, all teams and all fans love receivers.
Yeah.
They fall in love with them. Like there's so much data on, don't build from the outside in. Make sure that you're taking linemen. They're safer choices. Guys are going to be Pro Bowlers and all that. But everybody falls in love with like the one team that can figure it out, the Bengals, right? One of these teams in the top 10 is going to take a receiver that we don't expect. Whether that's my dumb team or like Tennessee, or somebody's going to take a receiver that we don't see coming.
Can I build off of yours?
I was going to do the same thing.
I think that, and I'm hoping that Malik Neighbors is taken before Marvin Harrison.
I was going to say
Jr.
the exact same thing.
Remember I said that to you?
I think that's going to happen.
I was going to say that
wink, wink.
The take would be that Marvin Harrison isn't the first receiver off the board.
Why would that happen, Carey? Because I brought that up to Anthony yesterday or the day before.
2 days. Yeah, 2 days ago.
2 days ago in the office, it said, scouts, several scouts around the NFL, I think it was Shefty or maybe it was Rappaport, had this thing up that they see Neighbors, or is it Malik? Yeah, Malik.
Yeah, Malik Neighbors.
Malik
out
Neighbors.
of LSU.
Jake Neighbors.
That's my brain froze up. I'm like, it's not Jake Neighbors.
How could you screw up a name like that, Jamie?
I should have just said Neighbors.
I do it once an hour.
They said that they could see Neighbors going ahead of Marvin Harrison. I forget the exact quote why, but basically because he's like a guy, the go-to guy.
Right.
Where Harrison, they think he's really talented, but maybe it's just
he's got that dog in him. What
that's right. Because he's got that dog in him.
I would say Marvin Harrison. Yeah, good job. Marvin Harrison didn't do any workouts. Like he didn't do the pro day. He didn't do combine, which I would assume. I mean, I'm not in those meeting rooms, but there might be a question of his speed, his actual top end speed. What does he actually run? He has the nickname Maserati Marv. But if you run a 4.58, then you're not really a Maserati, you're more like a Mazda Marv. And so people are questioning you, right? They wonder what's going on.
Nothing wrong with driving a Mazda. Okay, if you're
Very
driving
efficient
around
vehicle.
Not a Maserati.
You should be in a Chevrolet bought from Johnny Londoff Chevrolet. But
Well, you got great deals too at Auto Centers, Nissan, Herculaneum. Depending what you're looking for.
you never know.
700 vehicles all in one location.
If there was a question.
Two
there
locations.
was a question as to anything, I think that could be it. Like, maybe they don't know what his top end speed, and that might scare a few teams away where they could look at Malik Neighbors and say, you know what? I know what he is. I know what he's done.
Yeah.
Let me go in that direction.
So, anyways, that's my thought. Because like Arizona, a lot of people are mocking Arizona, receiver from Arizona. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a team that everybody feels is going to get a quarterback or an offensive lineman, or Atlanta, everybody's mocking a defender to them.
Everybody's mocking the Falcons.
Everybody's mocking the Falcons, especially on March 28th. But
what
happened that day?
I wasn't going to go there.
Nothing happened
on March 28th?
Nothing happened in the last part of that game.
It was a 328. That's a.
I've told you guys
the day
this
after
before.
my birthday. That's a great day.
It's a great day. Yeah. It's 2 days. 2 days ahead of my
really
birthday.
Isn't a great day.
Oh, no?
You're a former Falcon. You should feel that too.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It didn't happen on that day. It's just the day that everybody else celebrates.
What are we talking about?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what they're talking about, Carey. There's two things that I know for sure because I just stopped watching. When I was watching the movie Titanic, I know that young, sweet couple, they got off that boat at some point. And and they fell in love, and they had a great life.
I'm still mad at her.
That boat docked, and that couple went off. I didn't need to watch the end of it because I knew what happened.
You know where Anthony stopped the movie? When he was doing the painting.
Yeah.
Anthony can't seem to get past that part. He's like, I don't know, honey, the DVD's stuck.
Midway through the third quarter of that Super Bowl, Falcons Patriots. I know what happened. They won.
Well played, Marshy.
They did.
All right, let's talk to Jahcour Pearson.
He's
the Battlehawks.
Yeah, JP.
Jahcour Pearson, our weekly chat with the Battlehawk next on 101 ESPN. You know what that sound means? Time to chat, our weekly chat with the Battlehawk here in the Fastland on 101 ESPN, where it's 5:01. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with former Blues defenseman Jamie Rivers, Super Bowl champion Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter, and let's head to the 101 ESPN Celebrity Line. We're going to talk to Jahcour Pearson of the Battlehawks, coming off a massive game and a massive win. Jahcour, we appreciate it. How are you?
I'm doing good. Appreciate you guys having me.
Hey, no, this is it's our pleasure. We enjoy talking to you guys, and it's always fun, especially after a win. And you guys been rolling of late. I got to ask you, the wide receiver, running back, tight end group. I know you're biased, but man, you guys have you have to have the best set of skill position players in the UFL right now, right?
Yeah, I think we definitely got the best group of skill guys in the league. I mean, you look around. I feel like our group is a NFL group, honestly. You know, we got a bunch of great players everywhere.
Peasy, I think I'm going to call you that because I feel like we're tight. You don't know who the hell I am, but I watched you quite a bit here, and I absolutely loved your last game. I mean, you were all over the field, and I guess my question is, you know, Anthony kind of touched on the offensive, the skill position that you guys have, but I want to go in particular to A.J. McCarron. You know, what's that like for you as a guy that can line up almost everywhere and catch passes, whether it's a screen pass or you got a route pass? What's it like having a guy like A.J. McCarron being able to distribute the ball for you?
You know, it's crazy. I remember being a kid watching A.J. at the University of Alabama, you know, winning national championships. I never thought I would, you know, play with him. So, like, getting to play with him, like, he knows a lot about the game. I learn something from him every day. And he just throws great passes, man. It's just hard. It's hard not to catch the ball when he puts it right in between your numbers. Like, AJ is the top tier of this league. You know, I'm glad that he's on our team. I'm glad he's my quarterback.
Now, Jahcour, we've had a couple of your teammates on, and specifically the receiver room. We talked about the competition that you all have. What is that? What is the meeting like when you all are in there, or when you're on the practice field? Just, do you all make small bets with each other, or is it just, you know, I'm faster than you, I catch better than you, I'm going to run this route better than you? What is that competition like amongst you all?
You know, yeah, it's definitely it's competition every day because everybody knows that everyone in the room is capable of making plays. So, like, you got to be on top of your stuff every day. You know, we don't really trash talk that much, but like we can tell that everyone's competing because everyone's making plays left and right. Feel me? There's no drop off when anybody's in the game.
Jahcour, when you played in Seattle, and you played 10 games in Seattle in the XFL, now you're here in St. Louis, and now you've experienced the Battle Dome. What's it like being a Battlehawk, and how much do you love these fans?
Nah, it's awesome, man. The fans are crazy. Kind of reminds me kind of like Ole Miss atmosphere. Like, there's a bunch of fans. They really love the game. You know, it's kind of like setting the standard for the league, you know. Like, spring football is here. Like, the fans care. They're rowdy. You know, I love it. I love playing for those guys. Like, I can't wait to our next home game, you know? I wish all our games were at home.
Yeah, we do, too.
Yes, we do. Jahcour, I want to take you back to that time. You talked about Ole Miss. You transferred from Western Kentucky, Conference USA, to Ole Miss in the SEC. What was that transition like for you, and how exciting was that time?
Yeah, it was a great transition. Like, I took a chance, bet on myself. Actually, when I left WKU, you know, I was an all-conference player and all that stuff, but I decided to walk on to Ole Miss for my last year because I just wanted to play at a higher level. And, you know, Ole Miss was great. Coach Kiffin, he taught me a lot as well, and, like, it's nothing like the SEC, so I'm just glad I got to experience that.
So let's talk a little bit about Lane Kiffin, because he's obviously somebody that is polarizing. You seem to enjoy playing for him. What's he like? What's he like to play for as somebody that has actually been in his program?
He's definitely a player's coach, and like it's hard not to like want to play for him. Like everybody, like he's not like an uptight coach. He's chill. He's making jokes. He's cracking jokes. We're doing we got coaches doing one-on-ones at the end of practice. It's like it's a great culture at Ole Miss. Like, I love it a lot.
So, Peasy, let's talk about coaches then. You got Anthony Becht, a former player himself, and you just talked about Lane Kiffin, his style of coaching. You know, are there any similarities with Anthony Becht, and how are you liking it so far?
Yeah, him and Coach Kiffin are definitely similar because Coach Beck is definitely a player's coach. You know, he played at the highest level. He got drafted in the first round and all that. So, and then he takes care of us in practice. He knows that we might be banged up and stuff, and he knows that because, he's been in our shoes before, so he knows how to take care of us and make sure we can maximize our abilities on game day. So I appreciate Coach Beck for that.
Right now, you all are sitting at 3-1, headed to D.C. this weekend. How excited are you for that? And what is D.C.? What problems may they present to you all on offense?
Yeah, I'm excited to go play D.C., man, because, last year with the Seattle Sea Dragons, we went 0-3 against them. I know the Battlehawks went 0-2 against D.C. last year. So this is a big statement game for everybody in our locker room. And I'm not really too worried about how they can stop us. We're just worried about how we're going to execute our game plan, because if we execute our game plan, there's no team that can stop us in the league.
Hey, Jahcour, we're talking to Jahcour Pearson, the wide receiver for the Battlehawks here on 101 to ESPN. As a team, how unified are you guys? I mean, it's kind of, I know you guys have to get in. You're in a training camp quickly. All of a sudden, you're practicing. Games are rolling. It's quick in spring football. But you've been in the various leagues, spring football over the last couple of years. How quickly has this Battlehawks team gelled? Offense, defense, special teams.
I feel like we've gelled pretty good because we had good remaining core guys that played on the team last year, and then they welcomed a bunch of the new guys like me, Blake, Chris, Q Cole. They welcomed us with open arms, and now we're just part of the Battlehawks family, and we're ready to just keep rolling.
PZ, I know that your mom has played a huge part in your football career, and I know you guys went through some tough times when you were young and growing up, but I know that football helped you through a lot of things. How, if you can, maybe explain, what you went through and how important your mom was through all this, as well as football.
Yeah, my mom, she definitely taught me a lot of stuff, ways to carry myself. It was just her, with me and my sister, so she just taught me how to, always keep going no matter any adversity that strikes. Just always keep going, keep pushing. You feel me? That's why that's the type of mentality I had coming back from the injury. Yeah, I got hurt, but I just know when I get back, I just got to make it seem like I never even got hurt. I just learned that from her.
That's great. Well, we have enjoyed watching you guys over the last couple of weeks. Love how you guys have responded after week 1 in Michigan, and we're really looking forward to this game against DC coming up. So continue to have a great season. Keep rolling, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you. Thanks,
kick their ass for us, okay, PZ?
I got you.
That's my guy. Thank you.
Take care.
For sure.
All right. That's Jahcour Pearson, otherwise known as Peasy.
We're tight.
Yeah. That's your guy. I feel.
He doesn't have any idea who I am. He's like, who was that old guy talking to?
No, I don't think so.
I feel like you all became very good friends.
I think so. I think that once Anthony Beck gets us those sideline passes,
reach out to
I go up,
I gotta talk to Anthony.
Dap it up with Peasy. He'll know what's up.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, you guys haven't been on the sideline yet?
Not yet.
Hey, we're waiting for the championship.
I don't think he's going to let you call a play.
The championship game, we're going to be knocking.
Don't look
Anthony.
like that. I'm sorry. I don't think he's going to let you. He said as much.
Carey, we have a rule.
He said it.
He said he'd let him call it not in a championship game.
Exactly. He's waiting on the championship game. Jamie, you missed that. He said, I'm waiting on the championship game.
Well, he's also sniffing glue over there.
Is that what that is? Okay, I wasn't sure.
Oh, Elmer Stalter.
Yeah. You can always tell because he gets it on the tip of his nose, and then it stays there for 3 days.
Oh, man.
You can't help it. Look at that thing.
You know what? You guys are laughing now. But when I send Anthony Beck and Bruce Gradkowski the film of the kindergarten Falcons and flag football and what we're doing in that league,
Anthony,
I won't be sitting here for very much longer.
I do agree with that.
Listen, just to satisfy me here, okay? Give me a play.
Before.
Yeah, I mean, you have before. You say some great things, and I absorb that, and it's obviously well appreciated. Yeah. But give me a play. Like, I know Carey could spit out a play here, but I want to hear your play.
You mean for the Battlehawks?
Like triple zipper, like, whatever you call it.
Triple zipper.
Probably, if I'm calling
that one.
If I'm calling the play, we're going double pitch back reverse bomb.
Okay.
We'll run a double reverse.
Oh,
double
pitch
reverse.
Back.
Who's throwing the ball?
A.J. McCarron eventually is throwing the ball, but I think I'm going to have the back
So
leak
are you
out.
lining him up wide like a receiver, and then he's part of the reverse? He ends up with the ball.
Yes. Oh, he's got to line up on the
So
left
the
side.
Philly
'cause he's right-hander.
special-ish, but he ends up with the ball.
Correct.
Okay.
Back leaks out. Nobody's got him.
I'm sure Anthony Becht will love that not only are you calling a play, but you're calling a high-risk play.
That's correct.
You got to take all the time in the world.
No practice, mind you. What? No practice for that play.
You asked me for a play, I gave you a play.
Hey, you got to risk it for the biscuit.
Thank you, March.
You don't risk. Okay, yeah.
I just want to see it. Now, at this point, Anthony,
you know what?
I'm giving you the headset.
Why don't we leave it up to Battlehawk fans? Do they want to see a double reverse with a pitch back bomb where the running back leaks out for a big play, or maybe Carey's play, which is a fullback dive?
Is it 4th and 1? Yeah.
Make your decision.
No, but Anthony Becht is going to give him the safest play. By the way, Anthony, here's the play you're calling.
Yeah. It's like, son of a, this isn't my play.
I can see Staltz going up there and grabbing Anthony Becht's headset. Hey, I got this one. Hey, don't worry about it, Coach. I got it.
I get the mic.
All right, this is what we're doing.
This is what's going to happen. Anthony calls the play. The other team sees the coverage. They actually call a timeout, and then Anthony Becht goes, we got to change it.
My moment is gone. All right, it's a fast lane on 101 ESPN. Speaking of football, we get the NFL Draft Day 1 tonight. Coverage beginning at 6 o'clock. We're immediately following our show. Got the first round tonight. So we're going to do a little, FanDuel, obviously a sponsor of ours. We are going to have some fun with odds, including over-unders on how many quarterbacks are selected in the first round, what the order top 3 picks could be. Let's see how much we're on the same page tonight and how much we'll get right or wrong. Next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and it's spring cleaning time at Window Nation. If your windows are cracked, maybe they're leaking, won't open, or stay open, well, now's the time to call Window Nation. You buy 2 windows, you get 2 free, plus 0 down, 0 interest, and make 0 payments for 24 months. You can also get a pair of St. Louis Cardinals tickets with the purchase of a house of windows. Window Nation is where you need to call. As I said, 0 down, 0 interest, and they will install those new windows in 1 day or less. Window Nation's windows come with a lifetime warranty. All they do is windows. They're experts. Last year alone, they sold over 200,000 windows. 40% of those more than the average window company. 96% of those requiring no follow-up service. They will measure your window 3 times to ensure proper fit. Again, it has a comprehensive lifetime warranty that includes the entire window with also the glass. So reach out to them today, 866-90Nation, or go online at windownation.com. That's 2 windows with every 2 you buy, 0 down, 0 interest, 24 months of no payments, 866-90Nation, or visit them online at windownation.com.
right, so we went to our show sponsor, FanDuel, and we looked at the NFL draft odds. So let's have some fun with some player prop odds for tonight's NFL draft. Now, it's only the first round tonight, coverage beginning right here on 101 ESPN at 6 o'clock. But why don't we start off with the quarterbacks? How many quarterbacks are selected in the first round tonight? Over-under is 4.5, but the juice is really weighed to the over. So, in other words, do you think 5 quarterbacks come off the board tonight or only 4?
I said 6 2 days ago.
Really?
I really think these teams are going to get it wrong. I really do. I think everybody's pressing for that quarterback. I think that some of these teams are looking at the quarterback class going, this is deep. This is a deep class of quarterbacks compared to what we had certainly last year available. And I think there's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks. And I think they're ready to risk it, thinking that they can all build their quarterback, build their franchise guy. So if 4.5 is the marker, I go over. Obviously 5 or 6, I win. So I'm going to go with the over.
I'm taking the over, too. I don't know if it'll be 6. I think Bo Nix is probably a high second-round pick, but I think 5 is probably the number. I think 5 should be the number because I feel like Michael Penix Jr. is a first-round pick.
I do, too.
If you think J.J. McCarthy and Drake May are first-round picks, I think you have to throw Michael Penix in there, too. So whether he's a top 10 and he moves up or if he's late in the round like we saw Lamar Jackson fall late to the Baltimore Ravens, I think 5 is the number.
Yeah, so here's you look at it, 4.5 at minus 650. So they're telling you there's going to be at least 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round. So I guess the question is, you don't think there will be?
I don't think it should be.
No, but do you think there will be?
Yeah. Because they're idiots.
Okay,
boy, Carey, so angry.
Idiots.
So hurt you.
How much time you got?
No, like between now and when you go to coffee.
How deep do you want me to go?
I have a question, Anthony.
Answer it, Jamie.
No, I'm good. Just where you're at.
All right. Team to draft J.J. McCarthy. If you throw out a team, I'll give you the odds.
I think it's the Vikings.
Oh.
Plus 230.
That's not a bad bet.
I'll take that.
You might be surprised.
Marshy is breathing so deeply when he heard that.
No.
Oh.
I think the Giants get him at plus 470.
Might be the Patriots.
Giants right now are plus 400. So the odds, I think I put this sheet.
Yeah.
I think I put that on the sheet.
I think they're going to move up. I think they're going to draft up and get him.
Do you guys know who the favorite is?
According to the odds. Is it my firstborn?
It's your firstborn.
Yeah.
It's the Patriots at plus 160. Yep.
They need a damn quarterback.
I think Marsh is on to something with the Giants, but since he took the Giants, you took the Vikings, right? Carey, who do you want? Who do you think? Now, who do you want? Who do you think?
Say Patriots.
I don't think so. I would say the Vikings, probably. That's where I think he's going to fall to.
Bob Kraft is going right back to the well. Last time he drafted a Michigan quarterback, what happened?
Yeah, he drafted him in the 6th round.
Doesn't matter, Carey.
He drafted him in the 6th. He didn't even believe he was the guy.
Okay. He's starting quarterback now.
He told him, I'm the best thing ever happened to you. And Robert Kraft laughed.
Hey, he laughed.
What was he talking
Is
about?
he laughing now?
What's your name again, kid?
He's laughing.
Tom.
All the way to the bank is what he's laughing.
All right, so I don't think it's the Patriots. I don't think it's the Vikings because everybody has them going to the Vikings. I'll say the Giants too. So Marsh and I are aligned. Giants. I think the Giants either go up and get them or they sit and pick. All right, the team to select Michael Penix Jr. This is where I see the Vikings.
Seattle Seahawks.
Seahawks are plus 1,000. Vikings plus 430.
Oh, I need to make that bet. Plus 1,000. That means if I put how much? $1, I get $100.
$100
Yes.
to get $1,000.
$100, I get $1,000.
Get 1,000. Yep.
Get off your wallet. Come on.
Yeah, man, you got to go across the river.
Got that Super Bowl money, Carey.
It's
2008.
It's been a while.
You got that Super Bowl money over a decade ago.
How they think it. 10 years ago.
For this moment, Carey.
Just for
you
now.
were saving it for now.
Yeah.
All right. So I say Vikings.
For who? Penix?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I would love that.
That's where I'm going.
I'd love that.
A lot
He looks good in purple already.
There you go.
I think that's high.
A lot of people are saying Raiders.
I think that's pretty high in the
Jaden
draft.
Daniels likes the Raiders.
Yeah.
He can like the Raiders all he wants.
He ain't going to be there.
Be a Raider.
Raiders got to trade up to get him.
Yeah.
What about the Seahawks?
So Carey said Seahawks. I could see the Broncos too.
That's what I'm looking at, the Broncos. The Broncos, Sean Payton, I could see him looking at that and going, I can work with that.
Can I take my pick back?
No.
Because I said the Vikings for JJ.
Yeah.
Give me the Broncos for JJ McCarthy.
Okay. So they're going to have to move up probably.
What's your reasoning?
I feel like that's more, like that would fit more of what Sean Payton.
All right.
Just could feel that.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Where's your guy Jaden Daniels go?
He's going to the, I hope he doesn't go to the Patriots. He's probably going to the Patriots.
Think so?
Probably.
Someone tells me Washington's going to screw this up.
They're drafting Drake May.
And take Drake May.
They're drafting Drake May.
The Patriots wind up with Jaden Daniels.
He's going,
which is probably the better
somebody is going to knock on the door and give them anything. I didn't.
Well, what's the difference between Drake May and Sam Howell?
Nothing.
Yeah. What's the difference?
Nothing. Yes.
Nothing.
Marsh, did you hear when I said I think Washington's going to somehow screw this up?
Yeah.
Your comment falls right in line with what I'm saying.
Yeah. Who's running that team though now?
So it's Dan Quinn.
Yeah.
It's their new
Michael,
GM is
not Michael.
Oh, what is his
had
name?
You told
it's the
me
dude
this
from San Francisco.
Okay, so had you said this last year, I would have agreed 100% with you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I agree now.
Adam Peters.
I think new regime, smarter guys.
Yeah.
I don't think the Commanders are the ones that end up screwing up the draft.
Yeah. Tennessee will.
Somebody else will.
Tennessee don't.
Tennessee
can't draft a quarterback. They cannot draft another quarterback.
Tennessee just gave a bunch of money to Calvin Ridley. They're going to be the team that I said earlier is going to take the wide receiver.
Then they'll trade him 3 years later.
Probably. Yeah. All right. You guys want to do one more here?
The Rams take a quarterback.
Do the Rams take a quarterback? No.
Not in the first round.
They're going to go all the way up to take Brock Bowers, tight end, Georgia. All right. What do you think the top three overall picks are in exact order, since we're just talking about that? I got numbers for you if you guys want. If I can find them.
Caleb Williams.
Yep. I say Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels.
That's what I would say. And then I don't know what Arizona's going to do it for. Who the heck knows?
I think it's still
hopefully they trade out and then Malik Neighbors gets picked by somebody.
You know what? I actually think that Marvin Harrison. I know we were talking about this earlier, but I still think Marvin Harrison goes forward to the Cardinals.
Really?
Yeah. And Malik Neighbors falls, and then Tennessee takes Malik Neighbors. Giants get J.J. McCarthy. Chargers sit and pick one of the top offensive tackles.
What are the Chargers picking?
5th.
They need a wide receiver.
What if McCarthy?
I think they go offensive tackle.
No, I guess they got Herbert.
Yeah.
You know what'd be great?
What does it make?
What if Minnesota? No, that wouldn't work. Someone said in the snake pit. No, not Justin Jefferson, but the Chargers. They can have J.J. McCarthy, and then they can trade the Justin Herbert to the Vikings, and then.
I mean, exactly. Since McMahon loves him so much, why don't you damn draft him, man?
Yeah.
The hell are you doing? That's what I would be saying.
Did you say McMahon?
Yeah, Jim McMahon.
Bears quarterback.
Did you just say Bobby Abreu?
Jim Harbaugh.
That's right in line with my Turner Ward, Turner Gill.
Good Lord, what is going on here?
I don't know. We are just not smart.
No.
Oh, man.
Jim Harbaugh.
Sure was not Mike Tomczak.
Oh, boy, yeah. Seriously. All right, it's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN again tonight. First round of the draft, 6 o'clock. Biggest question of the day next.
Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter back with you. If you are in the market right now, you're looking to purchase a home out there, first of all, hopefully you're calling Gloria Lou. But after that, and you need your lender, you need to make sure you actually get to the closing table. You got to call our guy Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. Anthony, he's got so many great ideas to help people different ways if they have enough money for a down payment or if they don't. And, of course, he's got the Bega loan. The Bega loan's where you borrow $200,000 or more, and there's no underwriting fees, no lender fees, no closing costs. And he can get you closed sometimes as quick as 10 to 14 days. And that's huge in this market.
Yeah, man. I called a mortgage lender one time. This was several years ago after Stewie. I heard Stewie a couple of times talking about what he does, and you and I weren't working with him yet. And I called the lender. I said, hey, the lender fees, the closing costs, you can get rid of those, right? He laughed. Dude laughed. I go, okay, well, if you can't do it, I'm sure a lot of people can't, but I know Stewie can. With his Bega loan, borrowing $200,000 or more, that means no closing costs for you, no lender fees for you. Think about the money that you're saving up front. You can apply that to make a stronger offer to the seller, right? Or you can take that money and maybe you want to do some remodeling because you're getting yourself a bit of a fixer-upper. However you want to use the money, Stewie's going to get you to that closing table. He's going to do so fast, like Jamie was saying. But you got to pick up the phone and either call or text Stewie at 314-324-4440.
Again, that's 314-324-4440.
Or, Jamie, they can always
Google the Bega loan.
NMLS number 226715.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals will be back in action tomorrow, taking on the New York Mets as Miles Michaelis takes the bump, going up against Jose Butto. That first pitch is at 6:10. Day one of the NFL draft tonight. right here on 101 ESPN. Coverage starts at 6 o'clock. We've been talking NFL draft all day long. If you missed anything from today's show, including our interview with Jahcour Pearson of your St. Louis Battlehawks, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have our biggest question of the day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center Update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
All right, time for the biggest question of the day. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, Andrew Marsh.
All right, so we've been talking NFL draft day one right here on 101 ESPN starting at 6. The question is, what is it like being drafted? And on the flip side, what is the mindset when you are an undrafted player?
Well, I can answer both.
Do tell.
But you know what, Carey, Jamie, you guys might be
anxious to hear this.
Suited for that.
Huh? Okay.
Yeah. Jamie was drafted. Carey was not. Both successful careers, though. So me, not so much.
Anthony, I think you've heard this story before about my draft day. My draft year, I was rated high, late first-round pick. And then, Carey, I got myself into some trouble off the ice.
Okay.
And led to a lot of questions about me, which it sucked because I'm doing all these interviews during the whole process, and all these teams are, the very first question is, do we have to worry about you, off the ice? Which, I'll just be honest with you, it wasn't like anything nefarious. We were at a bar at the end of the season up in good old Sudbury, Ontario, and a guy took a poke at me because his girlfriend was talking to me.
Yeah.
And one, I was like, I can't control what your girlfriend's doing.
Right.
Second, he took a poke at me, and then he finished third. That's on him, right? But joke was on me because cops were called and whatnot, and then there were things that were filed, and nothing ever went anywhere, but it was bad enough just to have it happen. It was stupid on my part. I should have just walked away and laughed. Should have been like, whatever, dude, but anyways, it ended up dropping me. I didn't know it was dropping me in the draft, but it was. And so I'm sitting there on draft day expecting to be drafted in the first round. First round goes by. I'm like, okay, lesson time, I get it. Second round goes by. At this point, I'm pissed. At this point, I'm ready to walk out. I look at my old man, I'm like, I'm done with this crap. He's like, no, you're going to sit there. And my brother was there too. My brother had already played in the NHL, and he was like, no, you're going to sit here, man. And then finally the Blues come around, and they picked me. And I was pissed at first, but I went down, and I had 2 great meetings with the Blues. Really, really loved the entire staff. Ron Caron, Susie Matthew, who was there at the time. She greeted me and then brought me over to put my jersey on and all this stuff. So all the anger went away very quickly, but it was stressful sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting, and the arena's full of players. You're not sitting there unless you think you're getting drafted at a pretty high number. And so for me, the process was tough. It was a very maturing moment for me. It was a time for reflection too. What's important in your life? Is it being at the bar? Is it getting into bar fights? Is it doing, or is it keeping your nose a little cleaner, surrounding yourself with better people, making better decisions? And obviously the latter kind of happened. I still made some silly decisions, but nothing that was to that magnitude. I had a good time with my life, but it did teach me a lot. And so that was my draft day experience. It was very much a roller coaster experience for me.
For me, it was I knew fullbacks normally don't get drafted on the first day. This is when they had first day, second day. So the first 3 rounds, and then the last 4 through 7 rounds would be on the second day. So first day, I was optimistic, but I didn't expect to get drafted in the first 3 rounds. But I did expect 5th, 6th, or 7th round. And so sitting there for the entire day, I literally sat there for 2 days and didn't eat anything. Like, so you're sitting there because there's a level of anxiety, a level of stress, worry, concern. Am I gonna get picked as it starts dwindling down? Some of the guys that I knew, I saw some fullbacks get drafted. Oh, I know this guy.
It's a horrible feeling, right?
Better than him.
It's a horrible feeling, right?
It is.
You see these guys being drafted, like, are you kidding me?
It makes you sick because you're like, that guy's not better than me. But you don't have you got to sit there. So went through the entire draft. My agent and I actually, prior to the draft, we graded every team that I would be best suited for. So A+ was the New York Giants, A- was the Indianapolis Colts, and then those were the top 2 teams. And then it just went down from there in terms of grades. And so after the draft, obviously depressed, sad, frustrated, got a phone call within 10 minutes from the draft ending. It was the Indianapolis Colts. Hey, we want you to come here. We want you to be a part of our roster. We're going to sign you to a free agent contract. Oh, man, that's perfect. Because again, they were the A- on my team, on my list. Probably 15 minutes after I got off the phone with them, the New York Giants called. The A+ team. And I'm like,
yeah, but you can't live that way, right?
And so I said, you know what? I appreciate the phone call. I already made a decision to go to Indianapolis Colts, and so I'm going to go there. But like I said, I knew I felt like I was going to get drafted, but sitting there for 2 days without eating, stressed, worried, the concern, as you said, seeing people that play your position that you feel, I don't think that guy's better than me. I don't know what you're seeing, but you have no control over it. I think that's probably the scariest thing is you have no control. And so when players become free agents and they finally do have control, that's why you see them. I'm gonna do what I want to do or what's best for me.
Yeah.
But that was a tough 2 days, man, just sitting there.
So we get a good question from the Air Comfort Service text line from the 636 says, were you embarrassed, Jamie? And so, yeah, it was embarrassing. Just like Carey said, you're watching players being drafted ahead of you that are not as good as you. And there's a certain amount of ego that is being punched in the gut at the same time. And I remember actually, funny thing is I used that draft as fuel. And the next season went back, played junior hockey, and put up over 120 points as a defenseman.
Nice. That's awesome.
Record for power play goals and goals by defensemen. I mean, I torched the league. And every time it was like, I used like where I was drafted.
That's great.
They'd ask me, and then I got actually passed over for the World Junior team that year to play for Team Canada, which was funny because I had 90 points at Christmas, and they didn't even invite me to the Christmas camp. And so then I would, people would interview, like, well, not being picked for Team Canada really got me going here. So look at the second half.
It was the same thing for me. Like I looked at the fullbacks that were drafted, and they didn't know it, but that was my competition. That was, I'm going to have a better career than you. I'm going to play longer than you. I want to make more money. Like it was all of those things that came to my mind because I felt they got something that I knew I should have had, which was being drafted. And to speak on the embarrassment part, for me, I'm sure you had the same thing. You're sitting there with family members, you got extra people, family coming over, friends coming over, and you're just sitting there and you're not hearing your name called. Jamie was fortunate enough to hear his name. I wasn't. I just sat there in solitude by myself.
Tough, man.
Yeah, your family is there, but nobody's there with you in that moment. You're living that by yourself. So you, but all is well that ends well. So it worked out pretty well for
Super Bowl champion, Carey, Jamie, long career as well. I mean, yeah.
Sex line never fails. Jamie, how good looking was the girl? Here's the thing. I do remember this girl. She was very nice, but that wasn't the issue. It wasn't me trying to become her boyfriend. We're standing at the bar, and she came over, inserted herself to order a drink, and then started talking to me. And then Buddy, who I didn't know he comes flying in with the old sucker punch.
Yeah.
And then when I didn't go down, he was in trouble at that point.
No.
Things change in a hurry, and when you're going to do that to somebody,
you got to knock him out if you're going to sucker punch.
And make sure you're not in a bar where he knows all of the bouncers and the owner, because then nobody's saving you after that.
Right.
Which I wish they would have.
Yeah.
Wish they would have.
And just real quickly, Carey, I know what you went through, man. I NFL draft after NFL draft, I sat there and I watched with my buddies. And you got to remember, I at one point, true story, had 3 interceptions in one half of a co-ed flag football game at Central. So there I am. I know I got the film, Marsh, and I'm watching the draft. And do I expect first round? Of course not. But I know what I put up on film.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I didn't get drafted. No phone call either at the end of it.
Heartbreaking.
Then I watched the MLB draft knowing what I did in high school. And again, no call. So anyways, I feel you. I do.
Yeah, Anthony, I remember something similar. It was 2022. My road to the show player got drafted, and I had a pretty good career. And then this past season, 2023, I actually got drafted by the Cardinals.
That's great.
And I just didn't have it. I don't know if it was player development or what it was, but I was a top prospect, and I just never made it out of triple or double A.
That's tough. Or it's better, I guess, than making it and then realizing that you have to go back down.
Yeah, that again. Jeez, I probably would have quit the game or just didn't save. I don't know.
Hey, man, I'm sorry you went through that.
Step on the ground.
I'm sorry you went through that. All right, bet the board, 3 stars of the day, criticisms, compliments next. Our listeners strike again.
Oh, they're
on the old
awesome.
text line. They're fantastic, man. They get the show, that's for sure. They get our humor. Some do, some don't. Some take us a little too seriously, but most of
them do.
I think 95% of our listeners understand who
we got a text last week or 2 weeks ago said, "You guys are maniacs. I love it."
You guys are psychopaths. Yes, we are. Thank you. All right, if you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast available at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 ESPN mobile app. The broadcast, of course, is all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Time to bet the board. And Marsh was bragging about being in first place.
Was he? It's kind of disgusting.
He's got a magic number already.
He did have a magic. He did, didn't he?
He did a magic number.
What's your magic number, Marshy? I have one.
I don't think that's the same.
That number's
different.
That's different.
Your pro got number one in your heart, Carey.
Continue, Marshy.
We have 4 days left of bets here in the fast lane for Bet the Board, and I have a 3-point lead. So if I win tonight, my magic number to tie, essentially, to get to a tiebreaker would be down to 3. So, Anthony, you are in second place. Jamie is in third place. Carey, you are in fourth place. 7-11.
I like the way he said fourth place.
Yeah, it's like it's
not
dead
last.
last.
I didn't say last.
He said fourth. Yeah.
It's dead last.
He helped you out.
It's only 4 of us.
Hey, the Cardinals are only in fifth. All right.
They're also in dead last.
All right, Marsh.
But they won 2 out of 3, guys.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
All right, you guys do your bets. I'll come back in. I got to let the lovely Ashley in. She's got my clothes for a party we're going to after.
Unbelievable.
This guy.
You're on
it. Party animal.
You're on radio.
Yeah, you're fine.
See you, Jamie.
I'll be right back.
All right. Okay. No, we don't. You know what? It's the New York Islanders. He loves that team.
Jamie Rivers of the New York Islanders.
All right, Marsh, go ahead.
I'm going to go with Sergei Bobrovsky to have over 25.5 saves tonight.
All right, so mine is kind of tied into that. I like the Florida Panthers minus 105.
Can you
in Tampa
fade him?
Well, I'm not fading him.
Why? You need him.
Why? I know. So.
Well, I mean, that didn't work yesterday. So
no,
it didn't work at all.
You tried
damn
that.
Astros.
Yeah.
What are we doing here, huh?
You tried
What
it.
are they doing?
Didn't work out.
Not at all. All right, give me the New York Yankees minus 1.5 versus the Oakland Athletics. Soon to be
New York
Sacramento
Yankees.
Athletics. Are they? They go to Sacramento?
Maybe. Let's
Vegas.
see here.
No.
It's a line movement here. Let's see here. All right, so you got the Yankees
That was
minus
very fast.
one
Good
and a
job.
half.
I got quick feet, Carey. You know, I
Nice
work
job.
out.
He shuffles.
I work out.
What's your pick? What's your pick there?
Who is your pick? Because I picked in front of you because you weren't here.
What'd you pick?
I picked the New York Yankees over the Oakland Athletics. I figured that's where you were going. No, probably not.
I highly doubt it.
I was hoping you were going to say something about basketball. I was like, damn it, there's my bet.
Always stealing it, Carey.
Carey taking my NBA picks all the time.
I'm struggling.
I'm going to the NHL. Florida Panthers play the Tampa Bay Lightning. But I'm going with a prop bet.
I was about to say I already took the Panthers. So.
Yep. What's your prop bet?
What's your prop bet?
So that might be taken as well.
Yeah.
Carter Verhaeghe.
Nope. No, you're right.
3 shots plus on net.
Okay.
Take it and like it, Anthony.
I hope. No, never mind.
What?
I don't know. I hope Tampa wins.
Why?
Because it's kind of we kind of screw all of us.
Tampa?
He has Bob with how many saves?
Over 25 and a half.
Over 25 and a half. I've got the Panthers outright, and you took Carter Verhaeghe. So
1-0 shootout.
Panthers ain't losing, boys. I'll just tell you that much. Don't worry about that.
Gary, you just root against him. You're
I'm
trying.
in dead last.
You're trying not to. You're trying not to be in dead last. That's the only thing you're trying for.
Why are you blowing out our flame to make yours burn bright?
I don't know if you've met me. How you doing? I'm Carey Davis.
Also known as Jamie when Jamie's not here.
Absolutely.
When I'm what?
According to him.
You called him Jamie?
Every day when you're not here.
Jamie. You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
We do look a lot alike.
I've done a lot of shows with you, okay? I'm used to saying Jamie Rivers. Or when you weren't there for 4 months, I'd say Jamie's Not here.
You know what, Anthony? That made you so much better at what you do.
You keep saying that.
I challenged you, and you know what? You're welcome.
You know what? I lost my voice at one point.
Yeah, but you battled through it, right?
Yeah.
See?
I did. Sounded like crap. All right, Marsh, what do you got?
Criticisms and compliments from the 618. That MF Jamie is on a roll today.
All right.
Oh, nice.
I'll take it.
There you go.
Good job, Jamie.
Appreciate that, Mom.
Anthony, your microphone broke and you had to go stand in the corner earlier. So we got a text from the 314. LL Stalter looks like a little kid that got in trouble and isn't allowed to participate in class.
Very true.
He did get a little radio time out there.
I did.
Yep.
Yeah. That's
quiet.
right. I found out how to turn on the mic.
Good to go.
We got a text from the 618. You guys are on fire today, making a great day better for me. Thanks. Keep it up. That one's from Clayton.
Hey,
Thank you, Clayton.
Clayton Keller. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good luck in Utah.
Yeah.
Big fan of the show.
You'll love it there.
You will.
Interesting question from the Snake Pit from Brandon. Who can do the longest plank on the show? My money is on Jamie.
Oh.
Probably Marsh.
I don't know. I'm pretty good.
I don't know. I kind of got a milk bag going lately.
Who actually does planks as part of their workouts?
Plank.
I do.
I do a lot
Carey
of
now and then.
I
It's
do
Carey.
core work, but I don't do plank.
But I can hold a plank.
Carey.
Well, let's time you. Go ahead.
You do it with me, and we'll see who stops first.
Want to do it together?
Yeah.
Like it. Oh, the plank.
What are you thinking about, Anthony? What's going on with you?
He can't help himself.
Yeah, he automatically goes there every
He
time.
does every
What's
single
wrong with
time.
This guy, huh?
He derails us. This guy.
I was talking to my therapist earlier today.
We got a message from Gator.
I'll call him later. I'll say we got more info now.
Gator from the Snake Pit says, give Ashley a shout out from the Snake Pit.
There you go.
Hey, she's tucked there behind Carey.
I gotta move my shoulder.
Anthony's
That's
corner.
my second home over there.
Hey,
Yeah.
nobody puts Ashley in the corner. There you go.
All right, let's get to our 3 stars of the day. Their third star is actually a trio of people. Bobby Abreu, Jim McMahon, and Turner Gill.
Yes. Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. Of course, we meant Turner Ward.
Jim Harbaugh.
And Jose
Abreu.
Yeah.
Idiots.
That is awful.
Our second star of the day goes to Anthony's Playbook.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That
is
was
the one
reverse
play.
pass.
Yeah.
Anthony Beck certainly appreciates it.
He's going to call a timeout.
What do you want to do?
No.
It's going to take
He's
too
going
long.
to give Anthony the same headset as Bruce Arians.
Yeah.
The one that's not connected.
Yeah, I'm like, then it's down by my foot.
In our first star of the day, the NFL draft is upon us. We'll see if this guy goes in the top 5. That is Mazda Marv.
Mazda Marv. Nice. Nickname, Mazda Marv. All right, we've got NFL draft first round coverage starting at 6 o'clock. So pretty much right now here on 101 ESPN. We appreciate everybody listening and watching throughout the course of the show today. We'll be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock for Freedom Friday. For Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, and Anthony Stalter, we will see you.